Oh, the joys of live broadcast. Microphone's on.
He shocked me.
And game one of the long pattern is off and running, ladies and gentlemen. Back with you live here on the Elite Stream, courtesy of Bullstream TV. Good afternoon. I started this morning's broadcast with good afternoon. Now I can officially say good afternoon.
You should have started this one with good afternoon
I
or good
should
morning.
have said good morning or even good evening. Emil Williams Jr. back with you. Players and parents have had some lunch. The staff got around to that as well.
Eventually.
And we're back at it here on the Elite Stream, courtesy of Bullstream TV. This is the Battle Royale. And I believe, I got to talk to D, but I think this is the fourth iteration of this event.
I'm not sure.
But it did not begin as Battle Royale. The name was changed after, I think, a year or so.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But it is the second year it's been at Town and Country Lanes. And thanks to Jeff and his crew, Jeff Bailey.
They take good care of us.
I'm seeing, obviously, some of our familiar individuals that we got a chance to see this morning. But they look to be maybe crossing with some different people. Does that make sense? I'm not tripping, right?
You are seeing correctly.
Okay.
We have a new set of pairings,
Okay.
new friends for
Good.
these kids to make, and it's going to make it interesting. It makes it more exciting to bowl with different people throughout different blocks, so it's nice to have some different looks out there.
It's Gavin Murray. I feel that the players couldn't wait to bowl on this long pattern, especially after bowling on what they bowled on this morning on the short pattern.
Yeah, I do not blame them. Had a lot of defeated faces after that first block. So it's nice to see them come back in and regroup themselves and be ready for a different pattern. I know a lot of them are looking forward to that after this morning.
Melanie McDaniel is joining us here on the Elite Stream. Mel, what did you do? Well, I guess the question would be, what didn't you do this morning to to aid in the successful running of this event?
It has been a crazy, crazy morning. I got to the bowling alley first. I can't forget the most important part. I picked up Duncan.
Oh, yes, you did.
I make sure that we have coffee. I also picked up yesterday all of the cookies for the celebration.
Which are gone, right?
They didn't even last. Like, I don't even know if
I saw 3
Landon,
boxes.
I don't even know if Landon got any. Like, Landon, Gianna, and Abby, I don't even know if they got any. And that's who we were celebrating. But we had tons of cookies. So I picked those up. I got the coffee and the donuts. And then I got here around 6:35, 6:40. And it was crazy. I don't remember really what happened during that time, but a lot of setup. I felt like 2 hours passed really quickly. Here with the Elite Youth Tour, we have a lot of new merchandise.
It looks great, too.
It does. It does. But I think I underestimated how much new stuff we had. So we actually ran out of hangers. And I had to call my husband and tell him to bring hangers.
Is that why he was here?
That's why he was here.
Not on his own accord.
He saved the day. He did plan to come up,
That's
just not that
fantastic.
early. Because he has a few of the girls that he coaches in high school bowling. So he wanted to come up and support them. But ultimately he was here because we needed hangers for all of the attire.
Yeah, we've got some good stuff, some new colors.
Colors are so
shirts.
bright.
It's a nice addition. And I feel that obviously EYT has a distinct brand, colors, brand
Right.
guide, et cetera, and then now venturing out a little bit. And, getting some colors that probably are very popular amongst our youth.
Yes, very. Even my husband, the bright colors.
He's a very bright colored kind of guy.
All about it. All about it. I mean, our wedding colors were bright neon yellow and green.
Oh, well, you're right up. Yeah, all of those are listed.
Right up the alley. We had a bright yellow DV8 bowling ball at our wedding and a bright neon green hammer bowling ball. So
you guys went hard, too.
we did it all.
Good shot there by Nathan Taverna. I saw him earlier, and he was striking on the short pattern. And despite the early miscue in the single pin, he's now striking here on the long pattern.
I think he's pretty new to the Elite Youth Tour.
Well, I hope not for. I should say, I hope to see him again
More.
because he's got some game.
It's nice to see so many new faces.
This is already. You can already see the confidence from a lot of players.
It's changed a
Just
lot.
a complete 180 from the short pattern.
I feel them, Emil. I feel them.
You're not a short pattern?
You know, I'm normally a short pattern. Last week kind of changed my feelings on that.
I was telling Riley, I was at the Dallas Classic Series, and the first event, the Dallas Classic, was a short pattern. It was probably the toughest short pattern I've seen because the gutter and the outside really didn't play. And it made for some interesting decisions to try to find the best ball reaction.
It was
for
not
some,
easy.
it didn't really get there because, whether it was bowling balls, whether it was, kind of everyone else, what everyone else was doing, contributing to what was already happening on the pair with the lane condition, right?
Right.
It started to get better as the eliminations started to take place, if you will. It's a little bit more uniformity, as everyone likes to say.
Right. The pattern plays a little bit truer once you lose as much of when you have a lot of people playing on a pattern in such drastically different ways. It's going to break down a little funky. And when you don't have as many players on there and breaking it down together, it typically will play truer to what the pattern is supposed to do.
6 additional games here this block, and then we come back tomorrow morning. Very important, 1 hour earlier. So 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. If you want to watch, if you're watching at home. So again, 8 a.m. Central. I've already set 5 alarms to ensure that hopefully I wake up and not be tardy.
Do you need text message
Sure.
reminders?
I'm all for.
I'm like
wake up
the mom.
calls.
I'm like the mom of the group. Like, we got to make sure we're doing this, this, and this.
We
and
probably
it's
should
gotta be
have a group, a chat, or we do have that, but some type of group wake up text. Hey, don't forget, it's not that the weekend where the clocks go back.
Oh gosh, those
right?
are the worst.
It's like that. It's like kind of like that where you got to be here an hour.
Have I
early.
ever told you the story about that?
No.
Ryan and I, that happened to us. We were dating. Funny enough, I think it was the day that we started dating. The clocks changed. I don't remember, but I told him the start time, and it was in the Eastern time zone. We ended up getting there like 2 hours early because of the clocks changing. It was terrible. I thought he was so mad at me. He was so mad because I didn't consider the time of the clock changing
Sure.
and the time of the time zone difference.
That's funny.
So it does happen. It does happen. But I'm very glad that it's not during this event.
Yes. Not this one. It could happen down the road. We mentioned the strikes, and so already, more doubles. We've seen a couple of triples on 29 and 30. We've got the front 4, 2 of them.
2 of them over there.
On 27 and 28.
And funny enough, it's by Landon and Griffin, but not Landon Jordan. Must be the name.
Must be. Griff. I know you feel like you knew a few players, maybe, right, from the youth, or I should say the players that bowl this tournament now or this tour now. And I know you know some younger players, some who just finished their collegiate careers.
Yes.
From the Illinois or from Illinois and in the Chicagoland areas. Do you know any other players? Like, did you know the Jordans prior to you bowling or working with the Elite Youth Tour?
I knew the Jordans, not nearly to the level that I know them now.
Okay.
My husband actually has known Tony for a very long time, and one of my friends has seen Tony coaching for probably almost 10 years. So I've known them, just not really to the level now, and I work with Tony myself, so getting to know the family and really understanding the work ethic that those boys have has made a really awesome relationship.
And then Rocco with the front 5. I love that name.
No.
Landon
like,
Rocco.
Like Rocco
I like that.
the show from Nickelodeon.
Rocco's Modern
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one crossed over for Griffin. He'll leave a 6-pin. Tony watching with his great eye. He's got a great eye for bowling.
Yes. A very good eye. And it's nice because, like, even he's good remotely, you know, and I have done a lot of my coaching through video with him with my crazy schedule over the summer. And I just send him videos and we work on things together via that way. So that is extremely helpful. He's really good at what he does.
Nice job by Will Hudson. He threw some really good shots earlier on the short pattern when he was near our feature pairs and on them. He's got himself a 3-bagger. Here's Jason Grothus. The one thing I'm seeing so far on this long pattern, we'll get into the details here in just a second. Watch Gavin Murray push. Bang.
He throws it so good.
If you throw it to the gutter so far on the long pattern, it doesn't look like there's going to be much recovery. So you do have to be specific and, you know, maybe make, in some cases, like the 6-pin needs to be the gutter. But if you're just kind of looking at the lane in that way. But, you know, just the additional feet that the pattern provides is helping keep bowling balls online.
For
longer.
For sure.
Except if you're Nate Taverne. Because
I was just going to say, he just made your statement.
But he's been able to do that now on 2 patterns. One that you probably should have been able to do it, and one that, from what I've seen up until his shot, that it didn't really look like you could do it. But that's why, you know, really good players, you know, kind of stand out in that sense. Like, they make some statements that you make sound a little foolish. And they may be right overall, but a great player will say, nah, that's not true because I can do it. That's not a good break there by Thomas. It's Olivia Cameron.
I don't know how she bowls with her long hair. I'm that type of girl that my hair has to be, like, out of the way. Out of the way. So many girls bowl with their hair down, and I give them a lot of credit because I don't know how they do it.
He's had a great game, too.
Front 6.
We'll make it 6 in a row. We've had one opportunity that went into the 10th frame earlier for a chance at an honor score. Our high game is 276, and that was actually rolled on 29 and 30 by Ramiro Garcia. And U15 or U18? U18. Yeah, well, Ramiro Garcia went plus 145 tonight, including a game of, again, 276. Speaking of plus 145, Luke Switalski went plus 144 in U15 boys. And he has now the back 6. And he's going to be in the 230s. Bounce at Dawson Cole. There's Olivia. Let's strike in the 7th. I'm a fan of solid games. I've always been a fan of simple games. Not that anything that's not simple, but it always seems to be much easier to, if you've got a simple game, adjustments seem to be a little bit easier.
Right.
And then even from the coaching perspective, if for like someone who is like not Tony Jordan, right, whose eye is not that sharp, right, if it's a simple game, oh my. Well, you hate to see that on the front 6.
Wow.
The old 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10.
You don't see that often.
No. How about a make right here?
That would be very impressive.
But I learned very early you can do a lot with a simple game. I think Olivia has that, as does Griffin Jordan.
Griffin's game is some people may think it's complicated, but it's very, very simple. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh,
nicely
nice
done.
Pickup.
How about that? That's not the normal 4 we'd see.
No.
But it was 4 nonetheless,
Not
and it
at
was made.
all. That 4 count is not easy to leave.
No. It was obviously choppable. Plenty of ways to chop that. Seeing 220, 230 over on 25 and 26. I'm imagining the pace of this squad is going to be much quicker. I know there was a brief delay at the beginning of the squad, but with the amount of additional strikes that are going to be thrown. Oh, come on, Olivia. Lizzie, carry it.
That carry's going to help.
She's got Hall of Fame family carry, so it just trickles on down. You know who that is, right?
I don't.
I
had to look back.
That's Kathy Doran Lizzie's daughter.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Jeff, of course. Sorry,
Okay.
Jeff. And then, of course, obviously the niece of Carol and Doran Ballard.
You know, now that you say it, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see it in the face. Man, I loved her as a kid.
Kathy?
Her and her sister. They
Yes,
always came to
yes.
Rockford.
They both were fantastic.
Always. They were there every year when I grew up bowling the Pro-Am. It was something I looked forward to.
It was cool. Did you get a chance to go to the Hall of Fame banquet?
I did not.
Okay.
With the schedule that I had, it was right around a tax deadline for work. And with how much I was going to be on the road over the summer and not physically in the office, I was right down the road, but I was working, unfortunately.
Of course, Carolyn was formally enshrined into the PWBA Hall of Fame after a couple years delayed due to COVID and having the ceremony. Well, of course, Kathy was there. Just mentioning some stories and talking about their family, especially their dad, who was very instrumental in getting them into the sport. So it's emotional, certainly. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage anyone who's just a fan of bowling and, someone like CDB, wow, pin right in front of the 9-pin for Landon Rocco, does not clip it. Reminds us of last week. A lot of 9-pins left at USA Bowl.
Why would you bring that up? Why would you do that?
A little bit of a different pin type here as opposed to USA Bowl. I'll tell you about that.
That hurts.
A little later.
That hurts my heart a little, Emil. Why would you do that?
But be sure to check out the PWA Hall of Fame if you are a subscriber to Bowl TV, which is the USPC live streaming service and provider. It is archived on that channel. It's a great. Actually, that one might be. I feel like that one was free to subscribe. I don't remember. But check it out if you are subscribing to Bowl TV and haven't seen the PWA Hall of Fame banquet and ceremony. Kim Adler got inducted. Kim Terrell Kearney got inducted. For CDB, Pam Buckner and Joan Romeo. And the late Joan Romeo. And she gave everyone some good laughs as well. So really good stuff. All right, good spare from Cameron. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of finished games. 205, 213 in the books. Will shoots 205. Thomas got to 213. Lizzie takes care of it and also gets, almost got the pin out of the curtain there. So you can get to 200 with 3 in the 10. Our guy Rocco, nice shot.
There he goes. Right back on it after that 9 pin.
Brutal. A little look at that. Well, hopefully CDB, I was just talking about her and the family, and here she is.
Oh.
Hello to Stephanie and CDB and everyone else watching. Nice shot there by Griffin. Emil Williams Jr. with Melanie McDaniel. Here from Joliet Town and Country Lanes. It's the Battle Royale here on the Elite Youth Tour. It is major weekend. 2 days of competition. We've already had 6 games on short this morning. We are now on the long pattern, 6 games here. Tomorrow morning we'll be back with 6 additional games on a medium pattern, and then we'll cut to the elimination finals. One, 2, 4 for Olivia Taverna, and just continues to just bury strikes. Let's see where Nate Taverna finished up. I'll tell you a story about I hesitate to call people Nate unless I see it. So it's on his back of his jersey.
It is on the back of his jersey.
So a funny story, Nathan Bohr, who of course is on the PWBA tour as a ball rep for the brand of Motive, husband of Maria Jose Rodriguez. Well, a couple years back, good attempt at that, Gavin. An unfortunate stops the streak at 6 and only 2:06 for Murray to start. What are some scores here? 246 from Taverna, 205 from Will Hudson, 213 from Thomas Creightonpaw, Dawson Cole with 184, 201 for Jason Grothus. The low game on 29 and 30 was 184, and what a shot by Lizzie to end things. Didn't deserve that, but a great shot nonetheless. Only one open there. She shoots a 186. But so Nathan is, I think on a broadcast, just like me and you are right now. We're chatting, and I called him Nate.
Not good. Not good.
And more of a, it's just like you're in general conversation. you know that Nate typically is short for Nathan for most individuals who are named Nathan in some capacity, Nathaniel, whatever it is. And he was like, I think it was he either got a text from his mom, and we started joking like, yeah, she's like, no, she named me Nathan for a reason, so you gotta call me Nathan. And since that day, I have been, if I see anybody with the name Nathan in anything, if I don't see Nate at all, I don't even do it. Now it's kind of a joke, and his mom was there, and his dad. She came to the tour championship, and it was nice to see her. But it was a nice, funny introduction to one's parent, which is funny. I've called a lot of sports in my day, and it doesn't matter what sport it is, doesn't matter the level. Everybody wants the right pronunciation of their name, especially parents. Kids, I always find they're just like, yeah, whatever you say. I'm like, no. Even on tour, people do that.
That's like me.
Well, we just talked about that.
We did.
The Mel situation.
I do not like Mel. And so many people call me Mel. So many people. And I am just not a fan.
Sounds like a song opportunity. We'll figure out how to write some lyrics. Don't call me Mel. 66 for Olivia Cameron. Griffin shoots 212. And Landon Rocco still with a chance to get into the 260s. Got to push the touch. It does. Boy, just a little bit of hold will do wonders for one's game and confidence. And I'm not talking about Landon specifically. I'm talking about the entire field.
Yes. Yes. I think a lot of people, even just after that game one, you're seeing a lot more smiles. You're seeing a lot of more interaction between the kids moving from pair to pair, and you're not seeing that frustration, which a lot of them had it the first block, rightfully so.
You can see just by those 2 shots, Landon's got a little bit of area to work with as well, probably a couple boards, which no matter who you are, you'd love to have a couple of boards as your best friend in this sport.
Anytime you get room like that, you take advantage of it, because pair-to-pair is going to be so different, even with it being newer lanes here.
I want to get your opinion on that now that you brought that up. I talked to Riley about it. I want to get your opinion on it. You bowled here a ton, right?
I do. This is pretty much where I bowl most
Nicely
of my
done.
tournaments when I'm home. They run monthly tournaments, and I have had a chance to bowl on them. I got to bowl on them the week after they were installed. I'm torn. I'm very torn. There are some pairs that are way better than they used to be. It was also very hot and humid the day that I bowled, and if you've ever bowled on brand new lanes, the approaches are new, everything. It was a little rough at first, but there's not a lot of miss room. There hasn't been a built-in track because they did level everything out underneath. So it does make the patterns a lot truer because you're playing with such a new surface. It has its pros and cons.
Right.
You still have some pairs that are kind of not your favorite. Some pairs
that part doesn't go away.
Still tighter. I won't give those secrets out, but there are a few specifically that just play way different than they do on the other pairs. But the consistency from pair to pair right now in this center is a lot better than what it was. But that's what happens when you put all new lanes in.
Typically, talk about like a center hooks a ton, or notoriously is a touch tighter across the house, and obviously lane to lane, pair to pair certainly can be difficult. If there was like one main characteristic of this center prior to the new install, what would you say it would have been?
The gutter was never really an option here.
Okay. Now I can come bowl here now.
I feel that the pattern that I bowled on was a longer pattern, so I really didn't get an option to try playing the gutter, but seeing these kids try it and play it, it's there, and that was not ever there before. And you know me, I like to play right up.
Yes, you do.
Right up the ditch.
Yeah.
And it just never was an option. So I think that that's going to be something that's going to change a lot with the characteristics of the tournaments that are played here. I think it's going to give it more variety for different types of patterns, because they do tend to do a little bit more research based on the knowledge of what they had with the old lanes. So I think having this all new, leveled out, completely renovated lanes, I think it's going to give them a lot more options.
I was telling Riley that this was already a very good location, for a professional event, and I'm not sure how many they've hosted in the past. I feel like in this area, this center probably has hosted something.
Yes.
Have had to. I just feel as we watch Brendan Zabelka on lane 29. Abry Young also on this pair. But now with a new install, and certainly could have happened before. But I feel like it's one of those, man, well, we got a new install. Let's kind of put it to use, if you will. It's like getting any new toy, right? You just want to open it and play with it, which is what my son did last week.
With all of his birthday presents.
It looked like Christmas all over again for his third birthday. So I'm like, man, this is a prime venue for a PWBA, obviously a PBA event, but I see the PWBA the most, so that's my first go-to.
I'm a big fan.
I know you are.
Because it's only 10
Short
minutes
drive.
from home. I loved having the beginning of the season at home, but 10 minutes away?
You can't beat that.
You can't.
Even Stephanie Johnson didn't have 10 minutes.
No.
From her home to USA Bowl last week.
Diana lives down in Dallas too.
Yeah, she too,
and
right.
She stayed in a hotel because she was talking about traffic.
That is a little bit of a, well, I'd have to look it up. I should have looked it up. But I don't know exactly where DZ lives in Fort Worth, but if you live near or like closer to like Watauga, Keller, and that part of Fort Worth, it's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah, she said the drive was just too risky with traffic.
And you never know with traffic.
Yeah, so it's just easier to stay closer to the bowl and probably be able to spend more time with friends when we're not bowling and go out to lunch and see everyone. So, but
I'm going to send a note to Robin Graves.
Please do.
Just a thought. Just a thought. I should probably ask Jeff Bailey first.
I'm sure he would do it. Because then his daughter would be home.
Right.
It's like a win-win. You would think, right?
It makes a lot of sense. And we're certainly from a joking perspective, but I really mean it. The center is great.
It's got enough lanes. They do have a lane requirement.
It really is perfect. 44 lanes is more than enough. 32 is the minimum.
Yes.
And obviously the more lanes you have, the more entries you can take. Looks like pretty solid space from the concourse perspective.
Give all the good. Give all the good, Emil.
I mean, hey,
Bring it home.
I already have live streaming experience here, so I know how that part works. The internet is great. Thanks, Town and Country Lanes.
Now we just need to give the broadcast to Robin and say, hey, you need to listen to this.
Here's Brindley Cole. Brindley and Addison and Dawson. The Cole family all out in the EYTs. The Asbaty family. That was a really good shot there from Jersey.
That was.
And she's got a 4-pin to deal with. It's great watching a lot of younger players like Brindley, Jersey, for example, attack the lanes and kind of figure out what they're doing.
She's going to get that spare.
Yeah, she is. And they're still having fun, right? They're still going out, having a few conversations with their friends. But when it's their turn, they're ready.
They really are. And I have to think that they talk about ice cream a lot. Because every time I talk to Jersey, ice cream gets brought up. And I know that they have gone after at a few events and gotten ice cream together. So it's got to be something
that's a great life.
Yeah. They were a little sad because I ordered milkshakes for them for lunch and they didn't get here.
Oh.
With their lunch shenanigans today. But
nice shot by Starkey. Yes. No. I heard about that. I think I heard you say it just regarding the milkshakes.
I did. She wanted ice cream, but I just couldn't deliver.
Got to get somebody else. No, you tried your best, though.
I tried.
You did. Addison Cole, their sister, just nearby. One of the cool things, I mention this all the time, we talked a little bit about it earlier, seeing multiple players, or the same players over and over at this point in their young careers. And you can see the growth, and you can see some of the changes that they're making, even the physical changes. And I feel that we're watching the same with Addison Cole. Maybe even just a year ago, her ball speed was a little bit slower.
Yes, I do agree.
And now, you know, it's got to be at least, this is just a guess, but a mile and a half, 2 on. Oh, okay. Jeff was listening. See, I told you they had to have hosted something here.
There you go.
Right?
Wow. This is really cool.
This is cool. So I'm going to have to take a photo of it and air it. So what Jeff Bailey has dropped on us here is the we were just talking about how new lanes, right? Let's host something, PWBA, and he comes out and drops a poster from the Red Lobster American Classic, the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, which was August 1st through the 5th, 1982.
I wasn't even born.
Me neither. On the poster, Nikki Giannoulias, the top money winner from 1982. Pat Costello, 7-time All-American. Donna Adamick, 4-time Women Bowler of the Year. Virginia Norton, 7-time Pro Champion. And Cindy Coburn, 1981 Tournament of Champions winner. Those are the 5 players listed. Shout out to Red Lobster.
We need to get sponsors like that again on the tour.
This is really incredible stuff. I took a picture. I'm going to show that here.
He better not lose that.
Clearly, it's
I mean, this has been
here since 1982. So it's
they might have found it when they were doing the renovation.
That literally is a 40-year-old poster.
It's in good shape for 40 years old. Oh my gosh, I should know that my sister turns 40 this year. But she wasn't born yet either.
A few more days. Pretty
She's
cool stuff.
Born in December of 1982.
Appreciate Jeff for sharing that.
That is
And let me share it with you, the good people here at the Elite Stream. By the way, folks, if you could do us a favor, I had a goal this weekend of at some point during the week or this weekend, which means we got today or this block, we've got the morning block, we've got the Eliminator Finals tomorrow afternoon. I'd love to see 100 people watching at the same time at some point. We get plenty of views after the fact, which is great. And we know everyone cannot watch live simultaneously. But 100 viewers or more watching at the same time would be fantastic. And I think we can reach that, especially with the field that is in play here. Another great shot by Abigail Starkey. Starkey part of the Storm Evolution program. Good program for youth players. Storm has kind of been out on the forefronts early in with their youth development and how they've incorporated youth bowlers. Obviously a big part of what we do here at the Elite Youth Tour. Look out. Oh.
Trickster.
As Riley Smith would say, skinny jeans.
She's making Dad, like, get on his toes back here. Making him nervous.
Brad Starkey is a cool guy, too.
I told him he can't always wear his emotions on his sleeves.
Nah, he's a parent.
I haven't gotten that far yet in the parenthood of sports, but that might be changing.
Oh, okay.
Might be changing. Rylan is
Golf?
really into golf.
Okay.
So she starts golf lessons in a few weeks, private lessons. I know nothing about golf, Emil.
But your husband does.
My husband does. I am very much the bowler. I understand bowling a lot. She likes it. She does enjoy it, but I don't know if we'll ever get to this level with her of enjoyment. And that's
You never
okay.
know.
She's still young. She's got time to choose, but I'm not ready for the competitiveness. I'm hard on myself. I don't want to have to deal with someone else, too.
Oh, Marion, I am answering your question in the chat. Donovan is competing this week. I do not know where he is currently. Let's see if, let's go to Bowl Metrics and see where he started in regards to lane assignments. And then So we'll have a better understanding of where Mr. Lake might be. Let's see. Donovan started on lane 15, which, let's see. We should see Donovan Lake on 27 and 28, actually, in game 3 coming up, if my math is right. It is we're skipping 2 pairs and bowling on the 3rd here. Skip 2 and bowl on the 3rd this week. So he should actually be on 27 and 28 in game number 3 coming up. Feel free if you have any other questions. I'm joined in the booth by Melanie McDaniel. Melanie, let's go through a few numbers here of this this lane pattern. So, if you were bowling, and do you have a preference first and foremost in regarding, like, you like short patterns, you prefer long patterns, you like a good medium pattern? What do you say?
I used to be a big fan of short patterns.
Okay.
Lately, more so like medium, just because it's more, not really comfort, but just being able to play the track area more. Long patterns have always been somewhere where I have struggled. I also don't, I have high ball speed and a lower rev rate, so being able to get left and get the ball right and back, it's not my strong suit. Yeah, so I would definitely say mediums are my favorite.
So this one is 45 feet in length with 27.95 milliliters of oil. Looks to be about 2.45 to 1 if I am reading that correctly. And the one thing we noticed, obviously, a much different graph than what we saw in the short pattern. Obviously longer in length by 9 feet.
Yes.
Which, from what we're seeing, obviously plays a huge role. And some long patterns kind of force you into the middle or left quickly. This one seems to still provide some opportunities to play, and if you're right-handed, play not necessarily the gutter, although the gutter for some looks to be in play. There's some things you got to manage, ball speed, what ball you're throwing, etc. But you can kind of be around the track area. And, you know, it's funny, you know, Ryan was in the chat earlier, and obviously new lanes are going to affect how a pattern might play. But, you know, there is no track yet,
You're
theoretically, right? So, you know, what normally could be or would be the track area and may not be in play looks to kind of be in play right now.
Yes, for sure. And that's what I kind of like about these, like this length of a pattern, specifically here, because the pattern I bowled on a few weeks ago, it was 42 or 43 feet, so it was 2 or 3 feet shorter. But being able to play in your technical track area, it was there. And you're definitely seeing a lot of that with these bowlers right now.
Is 1 and 2 in play today? Or
It is not.
Okay.
43 and 44 are in play,
Okay.
so 1 and 2 are not in play.
So someone is skipping 2 pair. They've got to skip 43 and 44. They're going to skip 3 and 4.
Yes.
Go to 5 and 6.
Yes.
That sound right? Okay.
Yep.
10, 11, 12, And 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I think Mike and is it Haberger? It would be on 29 and 30 near the end of the block. I just did all of that counting and didn't count the games. But he's going to be on the live stream near the end of the block. For all I know, I just counted 7 games.
If he started on the high end, I would think it would be.
He's on 30. He started on 35, and he'd now be on 41.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be around game 6.
And then Zane started on 44.
I would assume around game 5.
So, yes. So, Mike in about game 6. Zane around game 5. And just in case we need that, seems like a good idea to drop this in. Here are the lane assignments. All you want to do is click on the player, obviously. They are alphabetical, looks like by first name. Find your bowler, see where they started. And if you need some help, we can try to help you out with that along the way. Appreciate you guys for checking in and looking for your favorite player. Ramiro Garcia. Mentioned he went plus 145 today on the short pad.
Wow.
Lone open, missed a single pin in the 7th frame. Still with 227 out there. Let's see if any of our players here provide a little bit of additional info. As part of our questionnaire for the Elite stream. The Breedlove having some struggles here this game on this long pattern.
Nice shot there by Laney.
Laney from Montgomery, Illinois. It's near Aurora. Goes to Oswego High School. But any science class is a favorite of Laney's. Laney and I we don't see eye to eye on that. Although I would prefer science over math.
And we're letting you do the counting over here.
Back in the day. Yeah, I'm solid at some computation. If we get into that trigonometry, I'm going to pass. It's like a ball change there for Starkey. No doubles here. See if she can find one late in this 10th frame.
Looks like she had a nice little pep talk from friend Landon. She came back and giggled.
It's a close-knit crew right there.
Yes. They look out for each other, which I don't know about you, but I had that when I was bowling their age. And it's nice to have those bowling friends that are always going to be there and have your back, even when you're struggling.
Ben Linares. I've been bowling junior gold since he was 8. I had a chance to talk with him. I told that story a little bit earlier during this morning's broadcast. Jersey got the count, nearly made the split. Nice shot there for Ben. Out of Buffalo Lanes North in Raleigh, North Carolina. Great youth program in the center run by, of course, the USBC president, and whose name I always want to mix up with yours, Melissa McDaniel.
You know, it's not funny. It's funny. It is funny how many times that has happened. I got tagged in a post once that was meant for her.
See? Good to know it's just not me.
It is not just you. It happens more often than not.
105 for Jersey Asbaty, by the way. Starkey through the nose. 189 potentially. There's Garcia. One more, and Ramiro will be in the 220s. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure I've seen Ramiro bowl in EYT before. And maybe, I haven't been to everyone, but I feel like I've been to like 90% of the events in the last 2 seasons.
I have never seen him before, and I've been to most of them over the last year.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Zabelka. Boy, to throw it that good at that age, Brendan. I love his game. 189.
Brendan throws it fantastic. He works very, very hard on his game. He works with Kevin Coleman. That's actually how I met him. And Brendan and I have won in a youth adult event together.
Nice.
He spends a lot of his free time in the bowling alley. And during COVID, they made a lane in their front yard.
Nice.
So that way he could practice.
Oh, that's great.
So if there's anyone that I know that works hard, it is him.
That's really cool. I saw a lot of those videos of bowlers being creative and finding ways to practice during that time. Brendan, high game of 268, but that's going to change really, really soon. Loves bowling, swimming, and video games, and wants to be a professional bowler. Loves Chris Prather. He's got a little Chris Prather in his game already. I can see it.
Yep.
And Diandra Asbaty. Opportunity at a different look right there for Ramiro with the 7-10 up. He shoots 213 and continues to add to what has been a very, very good day for him on the lanes. Unfortunate miscue there in the 10 for Moo. Madison Cole, she shoots a 181. Open frame there for Ben in the 10th. He shoots a 150. And Laney Breedlove will close it out. Phil shot. There's a good one.
Nice strike. She looked very serious on that one when she walked back.
She wasn't messing around.
No.
Started to get a 300 to her credit. High series, 739. Bowls out of Mardi Gras lanes in DeKalb. Wants to be an athletic trainer. And favorite player right now is Brianna Cote. Seen a lot more Brianna Cotes in this type of questionnaire. Just hearing and seeing it in person.
Yeah.
Last week, not that Bree needed any verification, confirmation, if you will, but I do feel like that's got to be a cool sign when you got youth players that want to be like you, or you're now their favorite bowler.
Yes. She's also a very, very sweet person out of the lanes. Getting to know these players, the lanes are good, but getting to know them outside is a whole different level. So getting a lot of positive feedback from these bowlers as they're coming by, wanting to let us know how they're bowling and how it's going better. Definitely some good feedback.
Nice start. Okay.
I was just saying we're getting a lot of feedback, good feedback.
Yeah, great
from this
feedback.
block.
Sebi just stopped by and said he's doing better. The last time, or this morning, I should say, he was on 27 and 28. He missed a couple single pins.
That's not like Sebi.
No, he missed 2 10 pins. Those were his lone opens, and he had 2-0, 2-10, which obviously could have been 230, 240. He's 80 over already after 2.
All right. All right. You know what? He came in to turn his sheet in, and I asked him how it went, and he was one of those that were like, not good. And I said, you know what? You don't have to see this pattern again. It's a brand new pattern coming up. You move on, and you figure it out. And look what he did. But, Emil, I have some sad news.
Uh-oh. Are you have to depart?
I've got to depart from the booth.
All right.
I am being put back into merchandise.
Hey.
So.
We got some great merch to sell today.
Yes, we do.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, that is Melanie McDaniel. I'm going to take a small break as well. We've got Rich Blake in the building. We've got Riley Smith in the building. One of them will join me next here on the Elite Stream. All right, Emil Williams Jr. back with you. A little break in. Looks like I think Rich Blake is going to join us for a little bit next here on the Elite Stream. It is 3:30 Central Time. Ryan Luker, Zach Rothus here with us. We've got some players representing the or repping the new Battle Royale jerseys for this year. Sean Lee included as he steps up here in the strike in the third, looking for a double. And he'll take one. Sebi Vetter mentioned already at plus 80 after 2 games. Ariana Araujo also on the pair. Malaya Chavez. All those players actually, remember reading Malaya's name near the top of the standings. Southpaw, nice shot. I don't think she liked that one. Currently in third, right now at minus 181. Let's see if I can, we can. And if you want to, you can take a look at player results individually by squad. So it'll say Q1, Q2, Q3. So that would be qualifying 1, qualifying 2, and qualifying 3. Malaya went 159, 224. That was her high game on the block to finish third overall at minus 132 this morning in U18 girls. All right, and as mentioned, joining us now in the Elite Stream booth. Not his first time. Had a chance to listen to him a little bit in July with Riley. Rich Blake is back in the building. Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. And the players are doing even better now because we no longer are bowling on the short pattern.
Yes, I heard it was pretty flat. This is longer, but it looks like it's a little bit more shape on the patterns. It looks like there's a little bit better scores.
Yes, I don't know how much you've had a chance to watch so far, but if you've had a chance to kind of key in on some things, I will get your thoughts and opinions on what you're seeing in person, and in fact, maybe what the viewer obviously is seeing as well. So what are you seeing out there?
So a lot of times what people get confused about, right? They always say longer patterns, they think it's more oil. But it's actually the opposite. Usually it's less volumes of oil. It's just longer, and it forces you to play farther in most of the time. When I'm looking at this pattern, though, it looks like you can play out a little bit more than what you should be able to on this kind of pattern. 11, 12-ish, you can get it out, but if you get it out to like 6, obviously it's not going to come back because it's just too long of a pattern. But if you kind of keep it in that little pocket, the little range, it looks like you got a pretty good ball reaction down lane. So, but I think it's 6-1. So there's enough volume in the middle, so the ball's not going to check at your toes. So you should be able to get the ball through the front part of the lane. How long is the pattern?
It is 45 feet.
45. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it is 5.19.
5 point. Okay.
Let's throw that actually on the screen real quick so we can see it here. And actually, what I'm going to do is, I won't do that. We'll do that during a break, perhaps. We'll throw both the short and long patterns on the screen at the same time and give you an idea that way. So let's see who's not bowling first. All right, the right side of the building, or our right pair here, is not bowling yet. All right, so on the screen, so again, you see 45 feet. Much different graph, much different look, obviously, than what we saw from the short pattern perspective. And what we saw from the, earlier was 1.75 to 1, I believe.
I don't even want to bowl on that.
Not kind, which made, the blocks like Ramiro, for example, we just talked about, went plus 145. Luke Switalski went plus 144.
That's good bowling right there.
I think 3 players in U15 boys were either plus 60, plus 90, plus triple digits. I mean, really good bowling in general. Excellent bowling considering what they were bowling on.
It was do you see a lot of urethane with these kids being used?
This morning, yes.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, a lot of purple hammers.
Okay.
A lot of pitch blacks.
Okay. It's almost like they should just not make any more and just make purple hammers and pitch blacks, and that's it.
Those seem to be the preferred methods.
That's the one. They always go back to those. They come out with new ones. We throw them, and then we put them back in the bag, and we pull out our purple hammers. So it doesn't matter.
What brings you to Town and Country today?
Hanging out? Yeah, just hanging out. Got a couple more Saturdays left before I have to start opening the shop on Saturdays. So I'm trying to get out
right.
and relax a little bit before the shop can start getting crazy. So I switched after 18 years. I switched locations of where my pro shop is.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is it now?
I'm at Classic Bowl in Morton Grove.
Oh.
Right down the street from where I was.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The couple that was in there, they retired, so I got in there. 38 lane center. Full house of leagues, 38 lanes, 5 out of the 7 nights of the week. So I'm going to be busy. So I don't know how much bowling I'm going to be doing this fall, but isn't that how it is, though? You get into the bowling business and you do less bowling. So
I tell you what, I tell people all the time, because people ask me, hey, why don't you bowl anymore? And I'm like, once I started streaming, this was it. Like, the last thing I really wanted to do was actually go bowl.
Right, yep. Yeah, I'm like, well, when I close tonight, I'll do some games and practice, and I'm just so tired from the day. I'm like, I'm going home.
Now, remind me where the previous location was again.
That was in Niles.
Thank you.
So it's basically 5 minutes away, right down Waukegan. So, yeah, it was in a Bolero Center. So, but I'm in a private place now, and man, they run this bowling center awesome. So, trying to get one of the EYTs there this fall. So, or this winter, we're gonna try to get one over there. So.
Okay, that'd be great.
Should be fun, yeah, it should be good.
I don't know the ownership group, but it's the same group that owns Hillside, Stardust, right?
Yep,
okay.
Exactly. Great guys, yep, yeah. Yeah, we went in and talked to him about the shop, and it was like he had his feet up, he's sitting back, he goes, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I'm like, you don't know what to expect from guys like,
right.
They own 3 bowling centers,
right.
Like you don't know what to expect from them, and he walked in, and it was like, this guy's pretty chill, all right, this is good. It's a good feeling. Yeah, like I said, I've been doing it for 18 years, so it's a lot of fun. I'm excited about the season, so new people, new bowling center, so I'm meeting a lot of new bowlers and everything, so it's a lot of fun.
Appreciate Dennis Barkis in the chat. Dennis, we were talking about Ramiro, and Dennis reached out and said that he had helped coach a little bit along with his brother Peter. And then also thank you to Helen Lee for giving us some info. Excited to watch Sean Lee, who was bowling on 29 and 30 in his first ever bowling tournament.
Oh, wow.
Started bowling seriously about a year ago, inspired by his younger brother Aiden, who often does bowl on this tour, and who was supposed to compete. Aiden is out with an injury, so Sean decided to take his place.
Jump into the heavy end here, jumping in a tournament
like
this.
Sean went right in, too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I give him a lot of credit, because there's so many events you can kind of test out the skills, dip the toe in the water, if you will.
Right.
Nice spare by Sebi Vetter, making up for what had happened earlier on that pair. And Helen said kind of like running a marathon for his first ever race. It's a very apt comparison and analogy right there.
I look at these patterns when they put out, and they are not easy, man. She put some tough stuff out here, and you can tell why a lot of these kids do really well in junior gold, because they're bowling on this stuff every month, and that just gets them prepared for those bigger tournaments.
Oh, roll, Donovan Lake. Roll that Deadwood back.
So did you guys talk that this is brand new surface here now?
Correct. Brand new
Yeah,
surface.
brand new surface here. So
Have you bowled here before much?
I used to bowl here a ton. They used to
Okay.
have 8 gamers here every Sunday. I used to come here a lot for a long
I
time.
feel like they still do.
I think they still do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he runs a lot of really good events here. They do really well. Yeah, so I have not bowled on the new surface yet.
There's
So.
Jeff on cue right there, getting his airtime in. Handling some deadwood here on 27 and 28. Mia Kottke about to step up here in a second on lane 30. This is game 3. Let me throw that back up there for you. Game 3 of 6. Here on the Elite Stream, courtesy of Bowl Stream TV. Big thanks to Storm, Turbo, High Five Gear. Oh, the jump. Oh, look at him. Look at him move. So nimble. Jeff Bailey. Putting Deadwood back like nobody's business. He gets a round of applause. My man. Amy, that was a clear 15 seconds of fame right there. I'm going to clip that out and send it to Taylor, his daughter. She would enjoy that, I think. So we mentioned this pattern and how it's being more enjoyable for the players. Sebi was 80 over after 2 games today, just for this pattern, I should say.
For first 2, okay. It looks like a lot of bigger balls, more surface on them. Nothing too shiny. I think that's just going to go way too long.
One thing I mentioned earlier, and you actually kind of touched on it with your thoughts early, was, and let me know if this makes any sense. I just talked to Melanie about it. We were talking about it, and when you were kind of breaking down where it looked like players were able to play, and kind of where they couldn't go, moving or right of 6, so to speak, right, was about
right
where
like,
you
like
could
the gutter,
get right.
right. Yeah.
Right.
You could play it. Yeah, exactly.
And it looked like I guess I'm surprised to see players kind of playing in what would typically be in the track, but with the new install, there is no track yet.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Because I'm sitting there watching these bowling, and I'm like, these balls aren't hooking there. Which, normally if that was a track area, you probably would expect to see some friction in that area.
And then the old surface here, this place used to hook a ton. I mean, we come here on Bowl of 8 gamers, and the right-handers were in the 4th arrow by the 3rd game.
Oof.
Yeah,
well, I would struggle.
So yeah. So I mean, they were in front of the ball return by game 6. So
that would not be fun for me.
So obviously, being a lefty, that was not fun for me.
Right.
And let's just bring this up too. Today is International Lefty Day
and National Bowling Day.
Yes.
All on the same day.
All on the same day. Yep.
This day was built for lefties.
So everybody, be kind to your lefties today.
Right. Another great
Save
one
your
for
comments
Sean.
till tomorrow.
I know, right? 4 in a row for Sean Lee. Got a nice crowd support here. Well, with Samantha French, high flush, and again, looks like last week, seeing a lot of 9 pins now on this long pattern. Sebi said he was using purple, that was sanded. I'm not sure what grit number. I'm going to guess maybe minimum. Start at 2,000, maybe even 1,000. It doesn't look like it's 500, but you never know.
It looks pretty dull right now. Yeah. That could be 500. Yeah.
Rihanna Araujo.
Nice.
Asking it to spin and wheel, and it gets the job done. Out of Stagg High School. Starting to see an influx of young female two-handed bowlers. It's always a popular topic, especially on the PWBA Tour. And I got a chance to see a few more young two-handed women at Junior Gold. And Ariana is one of those players I first saw, obviously, here at the EYT. She actually bowled on the same high school team as a cousin, my wife's cousin, who is headed to Jackson State next week.
Nice. So many options now for them to go bowl in college.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
For those asking for Donovan Lake, there's obviously a great shot for Donovan there. Misty is excited to watch Riley McGee. Wow, Sean is so new that he had to buy his jersey today on site. that could be no matter what. Like, that's a story that will stick with me. But I mean, imagine if he makes the finals in his first ever bowling tournament ever.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Do you remember your first tournament?
I don't. I don't, because I was so young.
Right, exactly. We only had like Pepsi and a couple other ones back then. We didn't have all this stuff to bowl. That's what's so awesome about this.
In a way, I mean, I feel like, and obviously an unfortunate error there for Sean on the 4-bagger, but I feel like I would almost rather have it this way, like the way Sean's doing it. He's obviously older. He has an idea on what to do on bowling, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, he just started a year into it. He's had some help from his brother, Aiden, a little bit, I imagine. He makes the spare and can get to 2-0. And this is a bit more memorable, right, because of the situation and everything that's coming with it. But even if it was, you know, if you just decided, hey, you know what, I'm just going to go bowl the Battle Royale and see what happens.
Right.
That's much more memorable perhaps than, like, you know, we bowled in the Bantams division in the Coca-Cola tournament at age 6. 203 for Sean.
Nice game.
Nicely done. 210 up top.
And it's just, if you just walk by and watch all these kids, their fundamentals are so good. And they're getting such good coaching at such a younger age, too. And that's what's so great about it.
Now, do you are you from a coaching perspective? Do you get a lot of coaching opportunities?
I did. Now it's the shop's going to be so busy.
Okay.
But I tried to when I was at the other place. I tried to do as much as I could. But yeah, this year's going to be a tough one because it's going to be the shop's going to be pretty busy this year. So I'm excited. But I still I give them, like, guys get new balls. I give them a free game, so I always try to go back out there and watch them throw a couple shots. Just to see, or even before they buy the ball, I go out there and watch them and see how they throw the ball, so I know how to drill it and where to go from there.
It's a silly question from a bowling perspective, but you never know who might be watching. From that vantage point, as a pro shop operator, how important is it to watch the player that you're about to drill for and make sure you got some level of an idea on how they throw it to make sure they have the best possible experience? And obviously you're suggesting and laying out something that is going to help them on the lanes.
It's 100% because
nice spare, Don.
Because people don't realize how they throw the ball. So they think they throw it one way, right? You see it in your head and you throw a ball and you think that's how you throw it until you see yourself on video. And, like, we didn't have that option, like, to pull out our phone and videotape ourselves when we were kids.
Right.
So we had to, like, get this big camera out and then go back and watch it even on a TV or on a little, you know, on the back of the camera. So like, some people come in and they're like, I threw the ball like so-and-so. And I'm like, well, let's go watch you throw a shot first and then we'll see. And then I can kind of see what they're looking for because everybody comes in, they want to see the ball go long and flip late. Right. If you ask them how they want to see a ball drill or what their ball to do, that's what everybody wants. Until you watch them bowl and they're like, okay, well, let's figure out what you have in your bag or not, and then figure out how you throw it and figure out what kind of ball. If someone comes in and they throw the ball 18 miles an hour, I'm not going to give them a shiny ball because it's going to go forever. You know, so we got to work on where to get a ball that's going to fit into their game. But it's interesting because it's everybody who comes in, nobody's the same. And that's what makes it fun, you know, because you can see different styles and different bowlers and then try to work them and help them out as bowlers from there. I had one girl, Olivia Cameron.
So you bowling today?
Yeah. Diandra gave her a lesson and didn't like the way she was coming out of her ball. So she suggested to come see me. And I watched her throw a couple shots, and I'm like, man, you're like, can you relax your hand to throw the ball? And every time she did, she dropped it.
Okay.
So we checked her span, and her pitches were a little off. So and that's the thing too, right? You don't know, and there's no right or wrong. Everybody comes in and they're like, is this right? Is this right? Well, it might be right for you, or it might be right for somebody else, but maybe it's not right for you. So it's everybody's different. That's what makes it so much fun to see. Everybody comes in. It's not like you have to be this way. It has to be done that way. So I played around with her pitches. We took an old ball and we played around with her pitches, and we actually went from a quarter reverse, and I moved her all the way up to 0. And then she wore the thumb tape, and I said, "Well, why do you wear the thumb tape?" She goes, "Well, because I get blisters on my thumb." I said, "Because you're squeezing the ball." So I said, "Take the tape off." Took the tape off, and all of a sudden, she's flying out of the ball. And she actually bowled pretty well this morning, so that was good. So it's a good. I like to see that. Obviously, I always want to bowl well myself, but when I can do something like that for somebody and watch them bowl well, that's so gratifying to me as a pro shop owner to see other people bowl better because of what you've done.
And well, you've been in business for how long now?
18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
Well, somebody likes you.
Yeah.
Outside of Rochelle.
Yeah. And sometimes not even that, right?
Rochelle is our tournament director here in the Elite Youth Tour. Appreciate all of her hard work. Nice finish by Ariana Araujo, the last 6 after a very slow start to this game. Gets her to 188. Fill shot here for Donovan Lake, and we're on to game number 4. Donovan, class of 2024. Looks like that looks like a Teen Masters jersey. Watching Donovan bowl really lets you know just how long the pattern is and the difference between the short pattern and this pattern, just only in length, not even about volume, but length of the condition.
That's pretty good.
Wow. All right, officially into game 4, I think. Yeah, game 4. It says on the screen. Rochelle just taught me something, too. Because I was like, we're in game 3, right? And she said, yeah, just look up at the top left corner above the names and the game number is listed.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, well, how about that?
Yeah, she's very good at those little specific things like that. She goes, "You don't see that?" And I'm like, "No, I don't."
Joined in the booth by Rich Blake. Is it still called Classic?
Classic Bowl,
okay.
Yes. Classic Bowl. Yep, Chicago Bowler Shop.
Chicago Bowler Shop moving.
Yes.
For, is this the first time ever from a move perspective?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
New location. That's Classic Bowl in Morton Grove. I've been there a couple times.
Okay.
I don't think I ever threw a ball, but I have been in the building a couple of times. Never heard anything bad. Loved everything I've ever heard about that center has been very good.
Yeah, and you should. If you do go, make sure you go to the restaurant there, Boba Restaurant.
Okay.
Just go get some boba and then come in and say hi to me. So,
nice.
Great food they have there.
Speaking of boba, but very close to Bober. How's Paul?
Oh, Paul's doing great. He's doing really good. Yeah. That's my boy right there. He's bowling a lot. He's like semi-retired.
What?
Yeah, he's been, He's got money coming out of his shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he can go. He's out there.
enough.
Yeah, he's doing like some part-time job, like accounting for somebody, and then he bowls almost every weekend. So
nice.
yeah.
Please tell him hello for me.
I will.
All right, Chris Little, who has won these. At least one, I believe. Trevor Amir is on this pair. Nathan Noskhaus, Kai, and Chloe Saziga. Look at several of our U23 competitors.
Now, when you were watching earlier on the shorter pattern, you're getting a lot of balls to come out of the back of the pattern and make sharp moves on the back, or was everything kind of like a little smoother down lane?
I would say those who were able to control the pocket were not seeing we're seeing smoother reactions
right,
down
and that's
lane.
what you see. Like that's why a lot of people go to the urethane ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Those who struggled with that either had some trouble kind of going. They might have been too far left in the flattest part of the pattern.
Right.
So if you miss left, obviously it's trouble. If you miss way right, it's trouble.
Right.
For those who were trying to kind of play up the boards outside, we saw a ton of gutters, which happens on the short pattern.
Yeah, but it's just even with the old surface, The gutter never really played in this place for
That-
whatever reason.
Melanie said the same thing.
Yeah, it never really played here. Which
Yeah.
is bad for being left-handed because I always want to
Right.
get on top of the gutter.
There were some balls that came screaming off the half.
Yeah. That was pretty good shape. See, he didn't try to go too much, but he went around it just a little bit.
Nice. Landon Jordan off to the right along with Guy Carbonaro. I saw some love for Guy in the chat. If you are watching, let us know where you're watching from, who you're watching as well. Love to give you a shout out here on the Elite stream. A little weak to net wiggles after just a tap from the 6-pin.
But you saw how he was a little bit straighter than the other guy who was just on that pair, and he went around a little bit more, and he went a little bit straighter. But the ball still didn't jerk out of the back of the pattern,
Right.
which was really
Right.
good. You want to control the front part of the pattern.
Nicholas Stearns, Carter Hoffman, a couple of the players who are joining us next on 27 and 28. Looks like Sebastian Beth is going to join us also. We'll take a quick look at standings to get you an idea of what's going on there as well. Got a couple of comments or new ones, at least one. Another great comment from Helen. I get the feeling that Helen is here. And I appreciate her for both watching Sean and also commenting and maybe even listening for that matter as well. She said that Sean is kicking himself for losing focus for that 1 second, leading to that error in the 10th frame. And that's certainly bowling, but that's true with anything, especially in sports. You lose focus for 1 second, and it's the difference between, a strikeout in baseball, in this case, a misspare, gutter, whatever it is here in bowling. It's the same. And she said for parents as well. Well, she said bowling can be brutal. I am learning. And she said for parents as well. Yeah,
yep. Probably even worse. It's probably worse to watch,
right.
isn't it?
I'm a parent now, but my kids are young and not at the athletic part yet. But I'm already concerned about my stress levels.
You're gonna get thrown out of the
when
park.
we get
Yelling at the
to that
umpires.
point. I think that's my wife, man. That's
Okay.
Shanice. I'm still gonna be like the cool, relaxed person, but I'm gonna be pacing. She
Gotcha.
might be yelling. She's gonna be a bit more vulgar, a little bit more expressive. The umps might be in some situations.
Oh, boy.
The refs might be in trouble. First shot for Stearns. It looked like a pretty decent one, but hard to say what his target was, but it looked a little bit in.
Yeah, I think it was a little too more right to left with the ball instead of more left to right.
Riley was on this morning, and it was his first time seeing Carter Hoffman compete and throw some shots, and he came away very impressed with Carter's game. Bounce. The silent auction is closing in 5 minutes. We talked about that a little bit earlier today. Riley kind of ran through some of the items that were up for auction. I might need to step in there for a quick minute, see what some of these bids were.
There's some Bulls tickets in there.
Yeah, so there's some Bulls tickets. So first we've got, from the bowling perspective, we've got some autographed jerseys. Nice shot there by Trevor. We've got A.J. Johnson, Shannon O'Keefe. We've got E.J. Tackett today. We have Francois Lavoie, Diana Zavialova, Verity Crawley, Brianna Cote. Those are signed jerseys. Stephanie Zavala has a signed bowling ball up for silent auction. And she signed it as the 2021 PWBA Rookie of the Year. Might add a little value to it, especially after talking to Riley, who's been dabbling in the memorabilia lately. And we've got a signed jersey from, or bowling ball and or jersey from Diandra Asbaty. And then we had some other items in there. We've got Luis Robert signed bat. The White Sox, Dylan Cease has signed a jersey, a home jersey too, at that matter. We got a signed Bulls jersey by Zach Levine in there. We've got some bowling medal art, which is really cool. And again, the two Bulls tickets in the suite, by the way, courtesy of the Weems family. So there's some really good stuff for the silent auction. So appreciate everyone's support there. If you were curious and you said, hey, some of this stuff sounds interesting, well, you should send a direct message to the Elite Youth Tour Facebook page. Get that silent bid in. There'll be some additional items tomorrow, many of which I was not privy to, because that's how secretive and important that they are. So there's some big name stuff going out tomorrow. We'll let you know what's on display when we get in the building. We start 1 hour earlier. Don't forget that, 8 a.m. Central tomorrow.
So now you're starting to see the pattern starting to break down a little bit more. So it's a longer pattern with the less volume. You're starting to see balls roll earlier now than they were before. So are these guys going to make the move left and try to go around it, or are they just going to go to less ball and try to still stay straight? But you are starting to see balls check it up a little quicker.
When you see that as a player, what's your first thought?
First move is the move in.
Okay.
Move in and just try to shape it a little bit more and go around it and see if that works. Because if you're scoring, why take that ball out of your hand right away? Make the move first, because if it's just keep moving in with the same ball, then you're okay.
Right.
But make the move, and if that doesn't work, then we're looking maybe go into a different ball.
Oh no, a 5-7 for Trevor Amir, and he can't believe it. He's got to laugh that one off.
Yeah, and that's him using a pretty hot, I think it's a gem. And so it's now you're starting to see balls. No, actually, that's a helix. Yeah, it's a helix. So they're actually starting to check up a little early, and the balls are going start to go forward in the back. We call it, instead of going to the left. They start to roll forward, so then the balls don't go through the pins, and that's how you leave stuff like that. Because they seem to run out of energy. He's got it. He's got it.
Nice. Nicely done there.
Gotta love it, right?
That was fantastic. The U23 division is funny, just because they've been through it all, right? Brandon Caruso now in the U23 division, which is weird to say. He's going to Wichita State on Monday, but because they're in college,
right?
They're a bit more animated. They do a lot of the things that we see them do that they probably do against some team,
right?
Every weekend, and it's funny. It's good.
Right, it's good.
It's good stuff.
Good to show their personalities.
Yeah, it's important.
When guys just go up there, throw balls, and walk with their head down and sit down, it's not fun. Not fun to watch.
And it's very important to say, and I mentioned this, that they've kind of gone through, the learning of how to bowl, right? Especially on a tour like this where there's multiple divisions, and every time you go up, you're learning different things, how to handle yourself. You still need to be able to handle your business and handle your reactions in a proper manner, but you should also be able to have a little fun while you're doing that.
Exactly.
As long as it's in proper taste. I'm a big fan of animation personally on the lanes. Not everyone is.
Right. No. A little trash talking is not too bad.
Every
either.
now and then.
Yeah, every once in a while. It's
Depends
not
on
bad.
the situation. If it's
and
match play.
the people. Yeah. If it's two guys that kind of know each other and do it, that's all right. Get out of there. There you go.
Wow. Chloe Saziga. She's got to save those for Judson when she heads back to school here in a little bit. You ever thought about being a collegiate coach, Rich?
Ever since I got into the pro shop, I thought about it for a little bit, but it's a lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work. So I
probably can't run a pro shop at that.
Yeah,
I mean, you could.
Yeah, I was at a high school for a couple years before I got to pro shop, and then that was just I couldn't do both. It was impossible. And they practiced at the center I was at too, and I still couldn't get out there to go watch the kids. So, yeah. I give a lot of like what she said, she's at Judson
Yes.
with
Sebastian also goes to Judson.
Okay, with Vince Biondo.
Yep.
Yep.
We've got a few players to get an updated list here, but I don't know if Trevor has completed his studies at St. Xavier, but he was there,
Okay.
and he still might be against Sebastian at, I mentioned Judson. Brandon's going to Wichita State. I believe Todd is also at Judson, if I'm not mistaken.
And that program's only been around 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I don't think it's reached 5 yet.
Is it? Okay.
And if it has, I think this might
it's
be
got to
5
be
or
really
6.
close. Yeah.
So still very young in the infancy stages,
Yeah.
but it helps to have obviously a coaching staff, someone like Vince, obviously experienced, knows what he's doing from plenty of days. Obviously, Team USA, the entire family,
The whole family.
Obviously.
Yeah. Vince never bowls bad. I don't care what he says. I bowled nationals with him for a couple years, and he never bowled bad. So.
The one thing I can say about when I was wow. Well, Trevor's just about to make this, and we're going to have the EYT highlight of the week.
There you go.
Coming up here. One thing I can say, when I was looking at schools back in the day, and this was 2001. 2001, I was a junior, and when I started paying attention to schools, and I knew I wanted to bowl. There weren't a lot, if any, of any local meaning Chicagoland collegiate programs.
Right.
Now, there's St. Xavier, there's Judson. Even if you go to Northwest Indiana, there's Calumet College. And there's just 3 right there. There is,
exactly. Yeah.
Lewis has a program, both men and women.
Right.
Actually, all of those schools I just mentioned have both men and women's programs. And I'm missing a couple. And I know I am. And so, just the ability to, if you would like to stay local, if you want to be near home, near your family, those options do exist. And I'm being very specific to the Chicagoland area, which is where a lot of our athletes do reside. But, the same can be said of varying parts of the country, obviously. But with Chicagoland being such of a great bowling community, there weren't really many college options if you wanted to stay local. And now there are.
Is this St. Francis, the one that's
St. Francis, Illinois? Yes.
They practice here, I think.
Right here.
Yeah. I think they practice here. Yeah.
They won the.
2 of the kids that helped me out the shop went there.
They won the NAIA National Championship
in
2021.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony Talley and George Contos. Great individuals, great program. That's a program that's been around now for a long time. It still feels like they're young and they just started, but
right.
Julie Brandolino, I'm a little jealous, Julie, by the way. She's taking her younger kids to the carnival.
Oh.
The next town over. Cheering on all the kids to do their best. Well, Julie, it doesn't count. You're at the carnival. You have left us for, rides and cotton candy.
Cotton candy, yeah. There you go. Looks like he just moved a little left there and got the ball a little bit more left to right. Yep. You can definitely attack this. There's no one way to attack this pattern. You can attack it a couple different ways, but you can't go crazy and get way in, looks like.
Riley mentioned a potential storyline. Another great shot there by Nathan. He's become an avid competitor here at EYTs. Carter Hoffman now with 4 in a row. Both Griffin and Landon were near even. They were -2 and -3 respectively.
Okay.
With Ramiro way out in front at +145 after this round, or I'm sorry, this morning's round. And Riley was thinking okay, as the patterns should improve from the scoring pace perspective. There should be more opportunities to score on both this and tomorrow morning. Will they be able to potentially give the lead a run? We'll find out how many players we'll have making the cut when we get in tomorrow for each division to make the eliminator finals. And that's really first and foremost. You got to make the eliminator finals to have a chance at winning. But there are some high qualifier awards that do have an additional $200 scholarship attached to them, courtesy of PBA Junior. And for each round, actually, there are some individual high qualifier awards courtesy of the EYT, and those players were actually given those awards prior to the this round starting. In fact, let's mention those players right now. Let's see. We got Eason Taylor led U12 boys. Nice shot again for Hoffman.
Really good behind his hand stays behind the ball. He just rolls it right up the back of his hand. Really nice. It's good to see one-handers have that instead of watching all these two-handers all the time.
Olivia Portillo led the way this morning, U12 girls. Luke Switalski, U15 boys. Allison Roberts in U15 girls. Ramiro Garcia in U15 boys. Abigail Starkey in U18 girls. And Brandon Caruso in U23. Those were your high qualifiers on the short pattern this morning. Merrick with a 4-bagger, but now that run has come to an end here with a 4-7 in the ninth. Wearing Chris Little's jersey. They came in together this morning. They were the first two individuals here. I thought they were ready, trying to check in, but I know it's not their first time, so they knew that, you know, they still had about a good 35, 40 minutes.
See, that held more than I thought. I thought I was gonna.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna hook a little bit earlier, but it I don't know what ball he's using.
Not giving the pocket away at all.
No.
It looked like a Zen just from
Okay.
going down the lane.
Yep, definitely Zen. Yep. That ball's done okay for everybody, huh?
You know, there's one person that I know that does not like their Zen. My boy Dre, who I bowl league with. We went to college together. Best friend.
Is he one of those that likes the balls that nobody else likes?
Well,
there's always those guys.
I feel like that's usually me.
That's okay.
Or it's the opposite, where everyone's having such success, like, you know, with the Zen, for example.
Right.
And he told me last season, you know, I bowled league for the first time in 4 years last season. And he told me, it was like, okay, yeah, I got a Zen, I'm about to punch it out. I'm like, oh, you just gonna love that ball.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everyone I had seen up until that point, you know, obviously now I'm watching a lot of players who are at the best at what they do on tour, but the Zen was popular still amongst both professional players, league bowlers, tournament. I mean, his ball, he did not like it whatsoever. Bowled threw a few shots with it at league, and I think it's still in his basement.
Yeah. I had that with the Obsession Tour.
Okay.
Everybody loved that ball, right?
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah. I drilled one up. Didn't like it. Tried a million different surfaces. So I talked to Brian Graham. He goes, no, drill it like this. I'm like, all right. So drilled up another one. I literally threw 5 shots with it. Took it off the rack, walked into the bar, and put it on the rack and said, anybody want a ball? But that's not the best part of that story. So the guy who took the ball got it plugged and re-drilled.
300.
Well, we bowled him the next week.
Oh, gosh.
And he went front 9 at us.
Wow.
So, my teammates were not happy with me, So, yeah.
Brandon Caruso getting it done here. His dad told me he made the switch. Not the switch, but he's added the ability to be very good at two-handed bowling. And has added that to his game as a useful tool when necessary. Hook. Dakota trying to keep it clean here. That's not it's makeable, easy spare on the surface, but choppable multiple ways, of course. See what's going on the bowl metric side of things. Take a look at some results here. Let's start with the U23 division since we are watching many of them compete right now. Nicholas Stearns, who is on this pair, specifically 27 and 28. He's plus 66, but having some struggles here. No strikes for Stearns through 7 frames. And that looks like it would be, that would be after 9 games. Brandon Caruso, and these are overall totals. This includes this morning's short pattern. Brandon Caruso second, plus 53. Bobby Habetler is third at plus 48. There are only 3 players in U23 at the moment who are plus. Braden Kidd at minus 31. Trevor Amir minus 89. Caruso, get out of there, 4-5-7.
So you see how he's keeping his hand right up the back of it, not getting the ball to change direction down the lane.
It's going to be fun to watch him with the rest of that Wichita State squad. It was already good and loaded with talent.
Hard to crack the starting lineup on that team.
U18 girls, Abigail Starkey holds a small 6-pin advantage over Lainey Breedlove, with Gianna Brandolino in third and Malaya Chavez in fourth. And right now, those 4 players bowling very well in that division. Back-to-back 9 counts here for Hoffman. U18 boys, Landon Jordan now to plus 65. Ramiro Garcia is plus 184, but it looks like he's got 1 less game. Or I should say Landon has 1 more game at the moment. So Landon is already completed with game number 10 overall, with Ramiro still in game number 10 and finishing things up. But it looks like along with Dylan Murray, those are the only 3 players who are plus. And U18 boys, Landon making the jump from U15 for this year. Allison Roberts leads the way in U15 girls, followed by Savannah Portillo, Macy Jones, Addison Cole, Ashlyn Tevis in the mix there as well. U15 boys, Luke Swatowski. Now he's completed 10 games. He's at plus 144. So Luke is about, actually he is even through 4 games or 3.5 games to this point. I guess 4 games for him at this point, at this moment. He was plus 144 in the short. Tyler Williams has increased a little bit. He's at plus 94. Anthony Swanson at plus 86. Sebi Vetter at plus 24. U12 girls, Olivia Portillo, Ruby French, and Ellie Kate Murray doing work in that division. And then, U12 girls, I should say, and U12 boys. Nice shot there by Beth. Madden Asbaty. Looks like Easton Taylor has 1 game less at the moment. So Easton Taylor, Jason Grothis, and maybe Madden Asbaty, Brendan Zabelka, who is super good for his age too. Throws it really well in the mix. So if you need some results, be sure to click Bowl Metrics. I got that link posted for you. It's pinned. Nice hand clap from
Mom's in every shot over
say,
here.
Good
Yeah,
mom right there. That was the exact opposite of my mom. My mom was like more of a, let's read a book and try not to. She's way more nervous.
Did your parents bowl?
My dad did.
Okay.
I was like, it looked 5'7", 10-ish, potentially for Brandon Caruso. Which you don't see a lot of, but he is somehow making this urethane hook a little bit. Wichita State is a school you go to, of course, when you want to, in my opinion, go bowl professionally. That's always been a program. How about that from
Messenger? Yeah.
Anthony Lizio, sending pins. It was a huge shot. First one in the
No, it's ninth frame.
Ninth frame. Oh, excuse me.
Yep.
3 in a row. Looking at the wrong player. We got no bowling right now on from 29 through about 36. Riley's so cool, he switched jerseys. I'm guessing just because it's long sleeve and it's got a little chill in the bowling center. I'm so used to being in extreme heat these last couple of weeks, whether in the Chicagoland area or last week I was in Dallas. It was 104 every day. And it's been, cloudy and overcast here today. And even last night, 2 days before that, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, oh,
Pretty good shot.
man. But there's a lot of players working on doubles and triples here between this two pair, 27, 28, and 25 and 26. Russo. Brandon can get into the 240s. Ellen giving us a little bit of additional background and backstory on how Sean and his brother, along with his friends, kind of got into bowling.
Oh, well.
Junior high intramural for Aiden. And they found out about the EYT tour. And when we went to Lyle, which was a few months back. It's pretty cool to know that the tour, you kind of get spoiled, right? And assume that, everyone is familiar now with the Elite U Tour. But there's always someone who has never heard of it.
Right, yep.
And so you have to – this is how I also approach kind of broadcasting, too. I learned this very early because you never know who's listening or watching. So you have to be – you always have to treat it like someone's hearing you for the first time.
Sure.
You can't loaf, if you will, right? You've heard that term where in sports, someone's not giving max effort. They call it loafing. It's the same. You can do that here. Carter Hoffman, his ball is not loafing at all. His ball is continuing through the pins. He's going to be in the 250s with a strike here. Got a 238 already on the board. Next door, a 25 and 26. Looks like that was Ty Rene Fournier.
Bobby Butler's got 230 going here. Yep.
Bobby technically can't defend his U18 title from last year's Battle Royale, but he can win a new one in U23. He's headed to Indiana Tech. Ooh. 10-pin nearly stood.
Yep.
No strike there for Carter, but 246 looks pretty good on the scorecard.
And tomorrow is the medium pattern, right?
Medium pattern.
Medium pattern tomorrow.
And let's see. I feel like I downloaded them all. Tomorrow is 41 feet.
Okay.
I feel like similar volumes, 27.3 mils, but in a similar ratio as well, 5.24 to 1.
It's going to be some big scores tomorrow on that.
Get a chance to make a run for those who will be a little further back and trying to make a cut to the Eliminator Finals. You will have an opportunity to put up a little bit of score. I like the good mix. You get the difficulty. You get that rude awakening. That's
Right.
what that was this morning.
And it's almost good that they got it. And would you rather have it first or last?
Definitely first.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Because if you got it at the end and you're trying to make a run, whew.
Definitely first
Yes.
because, it's tough, obviously, as we know, if you've got bad ball reaction or if the pattern is that difficult, which, again, for the majority of the field, it proved to be troublesome. Obviously, there were some outliers, as there always are, on any tough condition. But you'd love to have that one in the beginning. That way, if you got to go chase down a number, you can get that swing a little looser.
Right. Definitely. More definitely.
when you can get to the 1-3 or the 1-2 a little better. Well, some scores here. Let's see if Caruso can finish it out. Habetler, by the way, got to 236. Brandon. Funny thing is, too, watching, we could see this battle, and this is just these two, not even talking about the rest of the players around the country, like a Brandon Bone, for example, who's going to Mount Mercy. But two viable Rookie of the Year candidates here next year in collegiate bowling. Speaking of Brandon Caruso and Bobby Habetler. Game 5 is on its way next. Take a small little break. I've been eating mini donuts all day. I already ate my fruit for the day, so I'm out of fruit. .224 for Brandon Caruso. We'll see if who else is next. Riley's been taking scores this block. And he's right now taking scores, handling in business. He was responsible earlier for a 10-lane grouping to handle scores after each game. One of the many responsibilities that the squad carries. We'll see Eric Roberts, Chris Little, and some additional players next. This is Game 5 coming up. Emil Williams Jr. Rich, how long you staying?
I'll stay the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see what when Riley might be available. So we'll have it Rich for at least Game 6. Game 5.
Yep.
All right, so small break, and then if you got any questions, let us know. Also, let us know where you're watching from, and if you're rooting or looking for a particular bowler. We mentioned Zane Shaughnessy, by the way, and Zane is nearby in Game 5, but he's not on the featured pair, but he's next door on 25 and 26, and you can see him on the left side of your screen. We'll update you on his score in just a second. Chris Little with a bucket. All right, back with you in a moment here on the Elite Stream. It's the Battle Royale 22 edition from Joliet Town and Country Lanes here on Bowl Stream TV.
about you. How you doing? Yes.
I hope it was a good thing. I don't know all
Well,
bad.
I was talking about how when I was going to college, there weren't any like if I wanted to stay local, there weren't any local schools. And now St. Francis, St. Xavier, Judson, Joliet, and I briefly forgot that you were here. St. Francis, like this is where you practice. And then Rich brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, he won the 2021 national championship. And I said, yeah, where's Tony in Georgia? And there's George right now.
Where's Tony, man? He told me he was going to be here today.
Ah, man. How's everything going?
Everything's fine.
Good.
Everything's going well. Everything's going well.
That's lovely. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. It's a good weekend. Quite a few kids who showed up, too, so that's good.
Yeah, it's over 100 inches.
Good. Very good.
I don't know the number of states, but there's a lot. The legend, George Conte. Thank you.
Look at you.
Oh man, George Contos is a treasure, folks. Hope you get a chance to meet him at some point. Just come up to Joliet Town and Country Lanes. You'll probably see him at some point. But we mentioned him earlier when we were talking about local colleges to the Chicagoland area, and he's one of the coaches for St. Francis, Illinois. And he's also the ownership of this very building. Got a chance to meet George very early in my bowling, I guess, his working days. When I first started working at the Open Championships. That's where I first met him. That's generally where you first meet a lot of great bowlers at that tournament if you're working it. And obviously, once you learn, and I guess it's true with any sport, but you start to see them over and over again in the bowling community and elsewhere in other facets of the industry. I think we got a front eight down there on, what's that, 27, 5, 23, 21?
23, 23 and 24?
I think it's 21.
21 and 22?
Yeah, I don't know who it is. It might be Eason Taylor down there with the front eight. Did Eason move up yet? He still might be maybe his last time in U12. Yep, he's still in U12.
Wow.
Have you seen him throw a bowl?
I have not. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Man, I tell you, what he can generate. And Riley and I have been talking all day about, seeing youth players continue to refine their games as they grow. And already starting to see some of his improvements, especially at the foul line. Getting there in a little smoother manner, a little bit. But
what flat spots getting a little bit better at the bottom.
Yep. And what he can do with his hand is just incredible.
Nice.
It does look to be Eason Taylor, though. We'll keep you updated. And if he gets to the front nine, we will. I'll pan the camera over there and get you a little bit of potential honor score. Before I took a break, Julian Ramos, Chris Little, and Eric Roberts was joining us along with Kaylee Bass. And now on 29 and 30, Anthony Araujo, Lauren Brown, Braden Kidd, and I believe Barbara Lunsford. Lunsford is also on this pair. There's Eason. Oh, 9-pin. 9-pin stops the streak. Well, you'll get a chance to see him up close, Rich. He's going to join us in Game 6.
All right.
It's going to be on 27 and 28.
I couldn't see him throw it. I saw the ball, and I
Right.
can see the roll of the ball, and you're like, all right, that's pretty good. That's all you need to see. Just see that roll on the ball. You're like, okay.
And he made the spare. He finished 7th at junior gold in U12 boys.
That's pretty awesome.
Bass.
We got some, like we talked about, we got some power here on 29 and 30.
Yes, we do. This is
Speed and some power going on here.
Anthony, the brother of Ariana Araujo, who we saw earlier, the young two-handed woman. She, along with, these are just the two-handed young women that I have seen that I think really have a bright future. Ariana Bella Love Castillo, who finished 3rd in 2021 U12 junior gold. She actually bowled the Dallas Classic Series last week.
And she looked, you know what?
At 13 years
and by
old.
watching, she didn't look out of place.
Correct.
She looked like she belonged out there. Yeah,
that's well said. That's a great way to say that.
She didn't, you know, obviously her scores were wherever, but she didn't look like, oh my God, why is this girl bowling?
Right.
You know, but she did not look like that. She looked like just she could compete out there with the rest of the girls.
Yeah, she's just like anyone else. I mean, she's just got obviously some years and some experience away, but there's no doubt, you know, she's going to be a player if she chooses to continue to pursue that. Her parents were there. They were great to kind of get to know, talk to a little bit. The funniest thing early was she was more concerned about not double jumping people or jumping players and making sure she got that part down. So Bella and Danielle Henderson from St. Louis. Victoria White, who I believe now lives in St. Louis, but originally I believe is from the Pacific Northwest. Those individuals are names that I would look out for, folks. I would follow them right now. So you can be and you can say, hey, I remember when I started watching them when they were, you know, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. And now they're, you know, the first professional two-handed woman to win a title.
They're coming. It's just a matter of time.
Kaylee Bass looking for their first strike here, but she's got to take care of a 6'10". Lone split in the 3rd. That's the only open. Nearing 12 games complete, but for the most part, the day has gone by pretty quickly, which is always, at least for us here when you work, you enjoy when it goes smoothly.
Yes, yes.
Just as smooth as Anthony's strike right there, and Chris's for that matter.
Yes, when the tournament goes really smooth, I don't have to listen to my wife complain about anything when I get home. Everything goes well. We're good. I like it. I like it.
You're giving me a new element that I kind of forgot exists, right? Because I obviously talk to Rochelle all the time. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I could see that. She does a great job.
Yeah, she loves it. You know, she starts putting names in and doing all the stuff like Wednesday, Thursday, and you know, it's like I can just see the frustration sometimes on her face, and it's just like it's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna go fine. Once you start bowling, it's gonna go by fine.
I told her I mean, I don't know. I don't know how long. I don't know if she's ever ran a tournament ever before.
I think it's the first time.
UIT.
Yeah, yep.
But I feel like you wouldn't be able to tell the way she's just ran them. Like, she's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, being very, like, proactive on things and being able to just kind of conversate, throw ideas, or, you know, have a quick convo like, yeah, maybe this didn't really work well. Here's what maybe we should think about. Like, I enjoy talking to her about those things.
Right. Yeah, when she was telling me she wanted to volunteer to help run the tournaments, I don't know what she was really gonna. I don't think she knew what she was getting herself into right away. I don't know what she thought what she was going to be doing, but once she started doing it, I can see it. Just a passionate. I mean, she just loves bowling, right? She's been bowling her whole life. She's actually been bowling longer than I have.
How about that?
She's just bowling because she grew up on the East Coast. And when she went to high school, there was no girls' team. And she started off 4 years on the boys' team. So that just tells you a little bit about her bowling. So like bowling in men's leagues now, it doesn't bother her. All the shenanigans that men have while they're bowling doesn't bother her. She bowls mostly all men's leagues now anyways. So, but when she told me she was going to run these tournaments, I was like, all right. And then she came and she's been going. And then as the tournaments go up, she started, like Tuesday, started putting everything in the system. And she's like, yeah, maybe that's a little bit early, maybe because there's a lot of changes. And she's like, then she gets frustrated about all the changes. So she's like, I'm just going to wait till like Thursday. And I'm like, that's good. That's good for me too.
Yeah, because registration closes on Friday at 5.
Right, exactly. Right. But no, when things go a little off, you know, she gets home, I can just see it in her face, and I'm like, everything went fine. The tournament went great.
And she cares so much.
Oh, she does. She wants everything to go by the way it's supposed to go, and then I get to, when she's doing the lane assignments or doing the step ladders, and she comes in the room, she's like, hey, what do you think we should do about this? And I'm like, well, what pairs should we switch to? So we sit down and we try to figure out what pairs they move, and we don't want the kids to bowl the step ladder on the same pair, so we have to move them over to this other pairs. So we sit there, and about half hour, we get everything straightened out. So now she doesn't ask me too much. She pretty much knows what she's doing now. So, but she loves the feedback that you guys give her, and
it's important. That's what I've learned in my time.
Yeah.
Whoever's running the event, the staff, just in general, it's important to share positives and negatives.
Right. Because you can always make it better, right?
Yep.
If it doesn't go well, it doesn't. You get through it, and then you figure out how to fix it for the next one, and then it's going to be better. And as you can see, we have over 100 kids here today, so obviously something's going well. So
went well for Julian Ramos that game, 202. Pretty decent scores. Kaylee Bass, 174. Chris Little, 196. With Eric Roberts, 190. And then through 5.5 here, nearly 6 complete on 29 and 30. Braden Kidd, boy, he was throwing urethane on the short pattern late in the block. Threw a really good game, and unfortunately, I think he only got to 196, 7-ish. But he and Trevor Amir were actually on the same pair. They were crossing together and throwing urethane. Both were around, I want to say 5-ish or so at the break point. Trevor was probably 3 to 4 boards left of Braden at the arrows, but both were making just quality shot after quality shot. Kind of the slow wheel. It looks like that because it's urethane.
Urethane slows down so quick. Yeah, people. Yeah, it's urethane's a tricky thing. As a pro shop guy, people come into the shop and they're like, oh, I want a purple hammer. And I'm like, my first reaction is, well, why do you want a purple hammer? Right? Because it's obviously why do you want this ball in your bag? And they're like, well, I want them for when the lanes fry up. And I'm like, well, so it takes me, now you have to like explain to them what urethane is really used for. And sometimes that's a hard conversation with people. I mean, I can just drill up the ball and have them walk out the shop, but I don't want that. I'm like, so I try to explain and figure out if you're bowling on a house shot, probably don't need a urethane ball. So we try to get them into something, a raw hammer or like a hustle, something when the lanes fry up. So it's a tricky thing, this urethane, but it's like if you know how to use it, and even guys that are good bowlers don't know, that they throw urethane and they're like, well, my urethane, I can't throw urethane, but it's because they don't know how to see it go down the lane, right? It's a totally different ball reaction because reactive balls, you want to see it skid down the lane, read the back part, slow down, and go. Where urethane, you want to get it rolling as quickly as possible in the front part of the lane. So it's almost like how people talk about playing the fronts in the back part of the lane.
Right.
You want to play with urethane, you always want to play the fronts because you want to slow the ball down on the back part of the lane. So a lot of people don't see it that way, and they want to see the ball like Paul. We talked about Paul Bober. He can't stand throwing urethane because he's a slow wheeling. He likes to slow wheel the lane, and he can't get on top of it and stay straighter with the urethane ball. So he never throws it. He drills them up, and then he complains to me why he drilled it up because it doesn't work. But like me, I throw a lot of urethane on and stuff because being obviously left-handed, I can stay on top of it. Plus, most lefties play the front part of the lane, where most righties play the back part of the lane. So it's just the way we see the lanes is a lot different. And it's good. And like Paul and I have been bowling doubles together for I don't know, 25 years. So we know each other's games, so we know how we see the lanes differently, but I know how he sees the lane, so I can watch him bowl and be like, okay, you need to do this. And he knows how I play the lane, so it's but urethane is it's what, in the last 5 or 6 years it's kind of really became the big thing. I mean, it really was.
Correct.
I mean,
It's made its. I hate calling it a comeback.
No, yeah, and it's mostly because of the two-handers, because they needed balls to slow down because they hooked way too much on a lot of these patterns, or just guys with a lot of big rev rate. Oh,
Wow. It's not nice. George. Kensington Solzener, Ellie Kate Murray.
God.
Easton Taylor is on this pair, and Spencer Bruinsma. Aiden. This is Kenzie's brother. And Kenzie has won an EYT title.
All right, we got some left-handers coming. All right. It's been
Olivia
a while.
has won a
She
at
throws it
least,
really good.
a couple
yeah.
of EYTs as
Yeah.
well.
She looks like she's throwing urethane.
Interesting, Olivia, I was at Junior Gold, and it was practice session day. I was at Northway Lanes, and it was one of the practice session days, I would say. It was a Sunday, so I was there kind of setting up the equipment. I got there Friday. We had the trade show and whatnot on Saturday. So I went over to the Bowling Center on Sunday. I see Olivia come in with two, 3-ball totes, but she's also in softball gear. and I didn't get a chance to ask if I saw her mom there, but if there was a tournament maybe in the Grand Rapids area, obviously at the same time that Junior Gold was going to start,
right.
so it happened to, or would have worked out in that way from a scheduling perspective. But she was in full gear, still had on shin guards, pants. If you're just joining us, my name is Emil Williams Jr. I'm joined by Rich Blake. Rich is the owner of Chicago Bowler Shop. Moved to a new location. It's going to, is it open like officially?
Yeah, we opened June 1st. Yeah,
June
yeah,
1st?
we've been there.
Okay.
Yep.
And the new location at Classic Bowl
Yep.
in Morton Grove. He's also a wonderful other half of our tournament director on the Elite U Tour, Rochelle Blake. There's Easton Taylor.
Man,
making it look easy.
Man, that's good. He's how old again?
So here's the thing, right? I got to ask his dad to get confirmation, but Julie said that she believes Easton is only 9 or 10. Right? Which means that, I've been watching him for the last couple of seasons in which he would have been like 7. I mean, it's incredible. I really like Winston's game,
Winston's
too.
got a great game.
Winston,
Yeah, he's got
Winston
a really good
Petrie
game.
just rolled by, and he had a brief combo with Rich here, but I really enjoy watching his game as
And
well.
I've watched him because he bowls out at Lakeside up in Mundelein, and we bowl league up there. And I've watched him the last couple of years just grow, not just as a bowler, but just as a person. And he throws the ball. Man, compared to how he threw it a couple of years ago till he throws it now, he's gotten so much better. And, I mean, obviously he's getting coached by Bill Spigner, so
that
helps a little bit,
he's
yeah.
not too shabby.
yeah.
That Bill Spigner.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But his mom came by earlier and said, yeah, he can't make a spare today. And I says, oh, okay. And is that kind of like the whole Kevin Williams, 8 baggers, no spares kind of thing going on with these kids now?
That's funny.
That was a pretty good debate. I don't know if you got caught a lot of that.
I only heard a little bit of it
Okay.
after it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so the whole thing was, he would rather throw an 8-bagger and have an open than have 3 spares and be clean. So I guess.
Right.
I guess, but how many times have you gone back and missed a cut by 10 pins or 20 pins and you missed 4 spares?
Yeah, that's always
I always look back.
that tough inner conversation
Yeah.
that you got to have with yourself. The realism comes out.
Right. Man, Olivia's just hooking this urethane ball too.
I'm actually very
Man.
excited and curious to see, kind of watch her continued development
Yeah.
in this sport because, she's always had a slower, like the slow wheel, but she's getting
Got good ball roll.
her ball speed is getting a bit more firm and starting
Right.
to increase in the MPH category, miles per hour, and I'm just curious to watch how she continues to grow in the sport here. Some good scores brewing on 29 and 30. We've got 225 out there, 235 out there, 239 is out there.
And the pattern really hasn't they've migrated a little left, but not as much as we expected it to. Nobody's in front of the ball return.
No one's at
Nobody's in the
fourth
left.
arrow.
Yeah, nobody's super far in. Usually with the longer patterns, they get in pretty quick and they just keep moving. But I haven't really seen that with this pattern. So it has something to do with the new lanes, because they're a little harder, so they're not breaking down as quick. Could be part of it.
It's weird. You almost feel like you have to attribute it just a little bit, to the new install. But this would be perfect. You'd love to be able to do a comparison and put this out at a different center. No new install, decently aged, and just see how this pattern plays on a different surface or in a different center at this point. Here's Braden.
Because he's still, what was he, about 15 to 8? He really wasn't, maybe a little bit deeper, maybe 17 to 8, but he's not like, you would figure something like that. He has a pretty good ball roll. He'd be in by fourth arrow by now. Man. It's like effortless hand off his hand.
And from the growth perspective, Eason probably used to hit on it a little bit more.
Okay.
And I think, again, just learning, he's going to be a player where he's probably going to have a few meters, right? If he needs to dial it all the way up, he could do it.
That's a little bit.
If he needs to go I used to explain this actually in a way, and it made sense at the time. This was years ago. I was a graduate assistant. And I was coaching our B team at Lindenwood, right? We had a really high rev player, very good. But he was a freshman, and sometimes you don't know where it's going all the time. But his rev rate was great, and when he could control it and everything was good, he was able to repeat shots better. And I tried to compare what I needed him to do in certain, almost like a meter, right? So if you're thinking 0 to 100. It was like, if we can get, I just need 70% of what you got.
Sure.
100, no, we didn't, 40, no, we need somewhere between 60 and 70 of your rev rate for this, whatever it was we were bowling on. Great shot.
Man.
But to tell you what.
She keeps her hand under the ball. Most two-handers, when they do that, their hand wants to come to the side and they kind of spin it a little bit more. She really keeps her hand up the back of it, and the ball just has a nice end-over-end heavy roll.
A roll of the 2. No love for Anthony. He's trying to get into the 220s. Missed single pin there in the 8th. Gets 205. Eason. If you're just joining us, we mentioned Eason, and he had the number 8 in the previous game. 21 and 22. Now he started with the front 5.
Where's he sitting right now? Do we know?
Let's look. Let's look. U12
Yeah.
boys. Let's refresh. Right now, and I think Madden might be done completely bowling, but Easton is at what's that? Minus 338. But that clearly is not, or doesn't have his additional game. Let's see where he is on this pattern. He's going 201, 173, 158, 175. He just shot. I didn't see his final
I
score.
think he's yeah. I don't know if he's. I don't know what he had.
But he shot at least 240 because he made the spare in the 9th. So he shot at least 240, and he's on his way to that again. So he's potentially going to pick up 100 pins or so in these last 2 games on this pattern. See where some other divisions are just today. Mentioned Sebi, 224, 256, 191, 247, 198. On the block, Sebi is plus 116, Switalski plus 23. That's U15 boys. U18 boys. Landon is plus 75 for the block. In fact, Landon is complete with game 6. Guy Carbonaro went plus 24 for this block. 10 pin there. Easton's father, Curtis, pretty cool dude. Always see him watching his son. All right, miscue there for Taylor. I got to get a confirmation. Where's Mr. Taylor at? Oh, there he is. He's over there. 9 or 10 years old. I mean,
That's crazy. That is nuts. And he's just scratching the surface of how good he's going to be.
Nicely done by George, finishing out with 225. The high on this pair goes to Barbara Lunsford. She gets to 232. We're going to see another very good two-handed player in Anthony Swanson. He's going to be up next on 29 and 30. Anthony is not only an accomplished bowler, but he's also an accomplished musician.
He's shaking his head. He's over here shaking. 10.
Easton Taylor is 10 years old.
10
by the
years
way,
old.
folks. Imagine. So that means I first saw him when he was like 7.
Wow. 10. You throw it like that when you were 10?
I'm in.
I was throwing a
in
white
shock.
dot. Yeah.
I'm in shock right now that he's 10 years old.
Wow.
This is funny. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but Dylan Murray, whose sister, Ellie Kate, left a 5-pin, he had his hand up. And if you're, maybe you've seen that, maybe you bowl league, tournaments, whatever, but sometimes if you miss a 5-pin, there may be something attached to it. Could be, you owe your team a pizza or, some kind of pop, something like that. Dylan was doing that to his sister. That's the kind of brother I would be too. Like,
Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I would do that to my wife.
I also would do that to my wife. Abram Savage. This is game 6 over here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we are officially now into game 6 overall. Okay.
Yeah, 29 and 30 is a little bit behind everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Abram Savage, Dylan Murray, Hayden Smrekar, Woodley Dangerfield, and Anthony Swanson. I was talking about Anthony's musical talents. He is a classical pianist and also plays bass.
And when you were talking to his mom, he was looking back at you guys and shaking his head.
It's the prototypical
yes.
response from a young teenager.
Stop embarrassing me, Mom. Yes.
Well, you know, it's funny because I used to be that way, right? We all used to be that way in some capacity, but I do see his mom post often about his musical talents, and it's cool to know that the players you watch strike every month are also established and very talented in other aspects of life.
Sure.
And classical, piano is not the easiest thing in the world. First of all, piano to me in general is one of those that it just takes a different kind of talent. And I know that classical music, to me, it just brings like a different level of musicianship. I like Spencer too, and he's been just kind of doing his thing. I watched him a little bit earlier. Just kind of handle his business, back to his seat. He had a really good look actually on the short pattern, and I think his slower ball speed, and he was using something that was slower response as well earlier. Didn't see a lot of his equipment, or I'm sorry, his shots overreact on the pattern at all, even with the slower ball speed. Oh, hook a little.
Boy.
You can say anything now. Easton's just 10. It's like, all right.
Oh, jeez.
Don't even worry about it, Easton. You're 10, man.
So he's 10.
He's going to win the U12 division.
So in 10 years he'll be 20. I'll be done. I'll be done by that time.
Someone commented. I think it was Aubrey. Aubrey Kittle said that the day that Easton. Let me go to it. The day Easton is in U18 is the day I am old.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
But see, I should start recruiting these kids so that I can bowl some senior.
100%. Yeah, you should
senior
be
junior
all about
stuff
that.
with these kids, right?
All about the no disrespect, the over 40, under 40. You should be all about that, right?
Well.
Southpaw.
There you go.
Shot by
There we
Woodley.
go. There were lefties right in front of us. I think I think my wife put them all together.
Early.
I think she.
She knew you were coming in.
Yeah. She put them all in the same pairs. I'll have to ask her about that.
Dylan, if you see the Murray family, they're all kind of wearing something similar.
Yeah.
Pink seems to be in play here today for the Murray family.
Get out. There you go.
What's impressive about what Olivia is doing currently and I can recall, again, watching her compete like EYT, she'd make the eliminator finals, would bowl in the finals. And her ball would just hook, just zoom, and she had to kind of, almost move all the way right and kind of watch it, make the big circle.
Right.
And between, obviously her own learning and, perhaps her parents and other individuals that she trusts from a bowling perspective, urethane is perfect for her.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
perfect for her
Yep.
for where she is currently
Right,
in her
exactly.
bowling development.
Yep. Yeah, because if she threw something reactive, it might go too much on the back.
Correct.
Or it might get too far in the front.
Which
so she
is-
get that really, unless you take something, a bigger ball, and put some surface on it. But then it might just burn up so quick that when it gets to the pocket, it's going to flat 7 or 5 pin or something like that, where the urethane just seems to just blend out the whole lane for her.
Yeah, it's strange. I guess it's not strange at all when you think about it, but like she doesn't look like she's losing any hook.
No.
If that makes sense.
No, and the ball still has so much energy when it goes through the pins. So it's not getting there and just stopping.
Dennis, where do you watch? Oh no, I'm guessing Arena. Right? Arena is your home center, Dennis? Mentioned Zane Chalkensee in Game 5. Of course, Zane goes from just to the left of the live stream pairs to just right of the live stream pairs. But Zane does have strike, 9-spare, 9-spare, triple, 8-spare. It's worked by Aiden Solzener, the 1-2-4-10 washout. His sister Kinsey is right on 27, ready to bowl. Seeing more, and we've always seen siblings compete. Solzener family, the Coles, now the Asbatys, the Portillos, the Murrays, the Jordans. I feel like we should include Abby and Gianna. They're not related, but they might as well be sisters, and they might as well also be related to Griffin and Landon.
Exactly. Yep.
Speaking of Dylan, yeah, the Murray clan is from Orlando, so they make the trip out.
Well,
Not the way Spencer wanted to finish that. He bowled very well today overall. Favorite school subject for Dylan is history. Also enjoys reading, basketball, and video games. They both bowl out of Boardwalk Bowl. Very well-rounded, right? So Dylan wants to do something in personal finance. His brother Gavin, his favorite subject in school is aviation.
oh, well, okay.
He wants to be a commercial pilot.
Wow. That's nice.
I wonder how much flying time he's going to need, because he's so good. I need to see him bowling too. We could take some trips and we can go bowl.
There you
Gavin.
go.
Smooth.
Nice. Lefty with urethane. Go figure.
Seeing Dylan, I feel he's made some eliminator finals as well. I got to start. That's funny because I spend so much time and have been on the PWBA tour. A lot of stuff I've committed to memory on, number of titles and who's made what shows and all that. And even still, there's a few things like every year. It's like, you forgot to write that down, or you need to make that list. I need to make an EYT list because we're getting to a point where I'm obviously seeing the same athletes. I know that they're making finals. I just don't remember when and where they've made them. Swanson at the front three. That's got a chance.
Yep.
Anthony just won, I believe, a PBA junior regional title, if my memory is correct. All right, all done on 27 and 28. So we turn our attention now to 29 and 30 to close us out here. Day one of the Battle Royale. We had 6 games this morning on short, 6 games obviously this afternoon here on the long pattern.
Nice.
We'll be back at it early tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on the Elite stream on the Elite Youth Tour Facebook page. Emil Williams Jr. with Rich Blake, and has been kind enough to join me for the last 3 games.
We got the boss right here.
Where's she at? Oh, there she is. That is the boss. That's right. There she is. The best tournament director in the land, Rochelle Blake. Woodley Dangerfield. How about 5 in a row?
Push. Pretty good shot, though. You got it in, but the ball still went a little forward and stayed in front of the pocket, so give it a chance.
Dylan strike, split strike.
So we want to know, did you put all the lefties together on purpose? Okay, yep. So her answer is yes. Randomly put them together? Yes. There you go. Oh, we made a 7-10.
Nice. Be an interesting look at the standings after all is said and done today.
So how much different do you think the first squad and second squad scores are?
I would guess the field average would be 10 pins is a lot, but I'd say somewhere between 6 to 8 pins higher.
Okay.
And that's just a guess.
Yeah, yeah.
There just weren't a lot of 220s. 210 was a big score.
Was a big score, okay.
This morning, which made, Ramiro's 276. We had a front 9 this morning.
Okay.
Ended up being 263, I believe. And mainly, there just obviously wasn't a lot of hold.
Spares and shot. Not leaving splits and making your spares
Yeah.
is what it became. Yep. Nice.
He's got the left lane down.
Yep.
With 6 games for some in the books already, let's take another look at some of our totals. We'll start with U23 in that division. And let's see, Bobby Habetler is overtaking Brandon Caruso for the lead. Is that right? No, not yet. They're still bowling this final game. So with 1 game to go, Bobby leads Brandon by 1 pin. And Nicholas Stearns at plus 42, Braden Kidd at plus 20. That's going to be a fun watch with Trevor Amir. Chloe Saziga is in the mix. Mentioned Landon has completed his qualifying for today. He's plus 72 for 12 games.
So he went about 70 over this block, huh?
Yep.
So he's about even the first block?
Yep. He was Landon was -3
Okay.
this morning.
And what you were saying, how tough the pattern was, that's pretty good bowling.
And today, or I'm sorry, this afternoon, plus 75. Guy Carbonaro went plus 24. Well, that right lane just will not carry for young Dylan. Woodley Dangerfield is on the come up here. Oh, that's good.
Roll. Yeah, he got his hand through that one a lot better. Yep, you can see the difference. And the ball didn't jerk out of the pattern, just kept rolling forward and went right through the pins.
I like the smile from Woodley the third. Big opportunity for Woodley here to gain some pins. Struggled early, a couple of 150 games, 189, 170, 212. And now he's got a good shot at minimum, perhaps to get to the 250s, 240s. If he can continue the pace here. Young Hayden. There's that
you can
hold.
just tell like the fundamentals all these kids have. They all throw the ball, get to the foul line, post the shot. You can tell the coaching that they've had at this young age.
And that's the word of the day,
yeah.
fundamentals.
Yep.
Allison Roberts is complete with her day in U15 girls. She's got a commanding lead at -90. And she's got about a 200 pin lead. But again, there is an eliminator finals, and there's also 6 additional games tomorrow on a different pattern. So no lead is safe. But again, courtesy of PBA Junior, and we thank them. Shout out to Mike Sleds. High qualifiers in each division after 18 games will receive an additional $200 scholarship, courtesy of PBA Junior.
See now, what move would you make now on the right lane for him?
That's a great question.
So he's flushed every shot in the left lane, and then the right lane, he went high, made a move, and half 7.
I feel with, and I have to take the urethane into play,
Yep.
but I feel like maybe it's a 1-1 left
Kind
to
of keep
get on
everything,
top of.
get on top of it a
Yeah.
little bit more, keep your angles in front of you.
Maybe it hooks just a half inch earlier
Right.
to kick the 10 out. Maybe the slow wheel, that's got a hook,
There
and
you
it
go.
hooks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, Woodley. Oh, he's confident.
He's got the look.
He's
Yeah,
feeling
he's got
good.
the look.
The smile is good.
Got to find out what music he's listening to.
I think that's most important. I actually think he's watching us.
Oh, is he?
Yes. He's doing a smart thing, honestly. First of all, not every tournament you go to will allow cell phone use.
Right.
So young people, keep that in mind. At the U.S. Open, no phones. But he's listening to us, so I'll make sure I say something cool. And then I think he's also coming back and watching his shots.
Okay. Okay.
To kind of ensure that, he's hitting what he's looking at.
Right. All right, let's see what Dylan does here.
Appreciate Woodley for getting our viewer count up. He's the only one.
Now he's nervous. Now he knows.
No, he's on.
Oh, push.
It's a
push.
touch slow.
Nice.
It's not going to matter. It's perfect. It's perfect for Woodley Dangerfield the third.
All right, let's see what Dylan does here.
Hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah.
But he could make the little small bump right and maybe a little slow wheel.
That ball's a little bit slower.
I feel like he did that.
Yeah. Looked like a little slower with the ball speed. Got to pick up a little quicker.
This has been a fun round. The strikes are fun.
Always.
It's like the saying, winning is fun. Yeah, strikes are also very fun. They make things friendly. But for different reasons, the short pattern this morning also was fun too, because you could see the brains moving and churning and trying to figure this out from the player perspective.
Right.
Got a ball return situation down on 29. Let's see if Hayden's bowling ball can knock the little pin jam out there in that right gutter.
Great shot.
High flush.
Great shot. Good finish right here on this pair. Everybody's got
This is
everybody
good
got
momentum.
doubles going into the 10th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Christian.
Ball just came down. We got it.
My man even commented. First player to comment on his own live stream while watching and bowling in it. My guy. Nice. Let's see where Mr. Savage is in the standings.
Got a little right. This should get back though. Get out. Get out.
Abram struggling a little bit. Averaging 175 on the day.
Oh.
That average might be going up after games like this. He'll be in the 2-0s. End over end. That's another thing I've noticed too from younger players, especially with urethane. Players kind of learning how to go end over end and flatten out the hand.
Right.
To not necessarily use plastic and keep urethane in the bag.
So yeah, if you don't have to carry around as many
Yeah.
balls, yeah, yep. All right.
I only used to do that just because I didn't like plastic. But if urethane was around, or not that it wasn't technically. Oh, that
Slow
red.
down, slow down.
Wow.
See, I take a plastic ball but hit it with 2,000.
Okay.
So it kind of does a little bit of that, but it doesn't give me that over skid. So I can throw it left and it doesn't skid into the gutter. It makes a little bit of move. So
Come on, Woodley. Finish this thing out here. This is a great cross because, everyone's into it, right? Everyone's striking. There's a good rhythm between everybody. Like you couldn't draw it up any more perfect than this, especially to end a block in a day.
oh, hurry. Oh, yes.
Oh, Dylan Murray.
Yes.
And minus frames 2 and 3. And the no carry on the right lane gets him help. Woodley. Oh,
There you
give it to him. That's
go.
right. That's right. 270s, young man, are
Yes.
now in the present and no longer in your future. 279 awaits with a strike.
That's a good shot there. Nice finish.
Well done.
Just lost that right lane for a little bit.
Dylan, what'd you do in our right lane in the ninth frame? Did you move left? Kind of roll a little bit more.
So he did not move on the right lane. He just tried to roll it a little bit earlier to get the ball to square up a little faster. Yep.
Nice game, Willie Dangerfield III, 279. Now Anthony Swanson.
out.
All right. Out of trouble. It's fun watching Anthony bowl. I like his, I was talking about earlier, emotions and watching his reactions sometime. I like it because he's letting it all out there. He too, someone you continue to see growth, the physical maturation. He's gotten a little taller. And they adding a few more revs because of that. Ball speed increases again with the physical changes. One more shot, and that's going to do it for the Elite Stream here today.
Finish off with a strike here. Ah.
His looks are great, man. 220
Still a
for
pretty good game.
Anthony Swanson. The low game on this pair is 204.
Some good bowling on this pair.
Well done by Hayden, 233, Dylan, 205, Anthony, 220, Avram, 204, and the big 279 from Woodley Dangerfield III. And, folks, that is going to do it for our competition today here on the Elite Stream, courtesy of Bowl Stream TV. It's been a fun day. We saw two different lane conditions, two different scoring paces within that, as you might expect. Two different ball reactions for a lot of individuals. And, of course, you know, as someone deems it a bit more favorable, others may be like, I didn't really like the long pattern. So you'll see how the scores all shake up. They tend to even out, as they say.
Right.
And with the medium pattern really could be the deciding factor, if you will, of course, for who will advance to the eliminator finals. We'll know how many bowlers in each division will advance tomorrow as well. We'll talk all about that, but I want to give Rich an opportunity. Rich, your final thoughts after watching some of these great bowlers, these great youth athletes on this long condition.
Well, I think the pattern played the pattern didn't play as long as we expected it to play. It allowed people to stay, like we talked about. Nobody got super far in.
Right.
And if tomorrow is the medium pattern, you're probably going to see around the same scoring pace as you did for this late squad. It might even be more because you're going to have a little bit more back end, so that they might miss the misses they got right, might get back tomorrow and give it a chance to strike, or 9 instead of splitting for tomorrow. So I think that's going to see a big difference tomorrow. But man, it's really fun to come and watch these kids bowl. It's just our future of our sport is looking really good with these kids, and give Diandra all the props in the world for running stuff like this for these kids to come on and bowl. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. The Battle Royale will continue tomorrow here from Joliet Town and Country Lanes in Joliet, Illinois. Be sure to check out bowlmetrics.com, and that is metrics with an X, METRIX, bowlmetrics.com for all of the updated standings and results. There are about 2 pairs down on the low end and 1 pair down on the high end that is finishing up, and all the scores will be updated shortly after that. I want to give a big thanks to the team, of course, Rochelle, Aretha, Melanie, Michaela, Riley, Megan, Kayla, Nora, Ronnie.
He's doing this with no paper, everyone.
I'm missing 2. Dave and I'm missing somebody. I'm missing at least one person. Big thanks to the staff here at Joliet Town and Country Lanes. Our guy Jeff Bailey out there getting some airtime, of course, and everyone here again for what they do. Great host. It's our second consecutive year at this venue, and we thank them very much for all that they do for bowling and certainly for the Chicagoland bowling community. Want to thank all the parents because I've learned obviously over the years, especially going back to my days, being shuttled to varying youth bowling tournaments. Parents are very important. They don't have to get up and take you to your bowling tournament. They do it because they love you. So we thank you, parents, and we certainly thank these great youth athletes. Boy, you talked about fundamentals, Rich, and
Yes, definitely.
it is unbelievable how great this talent is, especially in this field, but across the country as well. Want to thank you, Rich Blake. Appreciate you
thanks,
stopping
Thanks
by.
for letting me come on. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Make sure you go visit Rich, Chicago Bowler Shop, inside of Classic Bowl in Morton Grove. He's going to be busy, and well, maybe we'll stop by and see him at some point on some league. We'll check in on Rich and see how he's doing.
There we go.
There's Bobby Hubedler giving us a nice wave. Newest member of Junior Team USA. All right, folks, that'll do it for us. Again, 8 a.m. Central Time. 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. This has been a presentation of the 2022 Battle Royale. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We'll see you back tomorrow morning on the medium pattern. It's coming up tomorrow right here on the Elite Stream, courtesy of Bowl Stream TV. Oh, High Five Gear, Storm, Turbo, Volshell, Bowl Dry, and Fast Track Physio, our sponsors of the Elite Youth Tour. Now I can say goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.